last time on Asmiliath Adventures. We pick up as our party is reunited in the Great Hall of Mother's Helm Temple, where Rolly requests a meeting with the chosen children later that evening. Dongrador informs him that he'll make it so before sending the Golden Hearts on their way to the Tipsy Gnome Tavern, down on the second level of Bronzeshard, which is ruled by a gang called the Mortal Kin. Upon making their way to the inn, Rolly is greeted as a long-lost son by the owners before the party find their way to the table and settle in for a meeting of the minds. There is a brief discussion about the murder that took place in Corel that Jarek forgot to mention to the party, before the conversation turns to what goals the party have in Bronzeshard before they depart into the depths below. Rolly wants to go see his cousin about repairing his family armor. Thor and Valoran want to purchase a pair of platinum rings, and Jarek is enlisted in the task of copying the signature of Lord Solomon. Before they leave the tavern to see their goals through, Rolly is approached by the son of the owners, and is asked to look into a problem that has been plaguing their establishment. The protection money that they've been paying the Mortal Kin has been raised, and it's putting a strain on their finances. Rolly agrees to talk to the coin collector Runa Bell on behalf of the tavern, and then makes their departure. Throughout the day, the party see their various needs met, Rolly securing a better rate for the Tipsy Gnome by beating up a con artist in the market, Valoran and Thor acquiring rings from the blacksmith shop that Rolly's cousin works in, and Jarek, well, he skeeves off into the ghetto to requisition an illegal copy of a Folkish signet ring. Reconvening again, the party is informed that the chosen children are ready to see them as the Golden Hearts make their way back to Mother's Helm. Being brought in front of the oldest of the church, the party explain the story that they've been a part of so far, finally making the dwarves of Bronzeshard aware of the return of Torodan. After being filled in, the majority of the chosen children don't have much to say, except for Grook Witchshaper, the oldest known living dwarf beneath the Surbat Mountains. She briefly describes her memory of the Great Entrance and the power of the Five that had stopped him all those years ago. Choosing not to press her any further, the party depart. They're meeting with the council with an intent to finally make progress towards the highways below. Before they return to the tavern to rest for the night, Carl's stone of messaging begins to glow with a note from Croak and Corel. After the brilliant minds of the Golden Hearts gather their collective power to discover the message holds a secret meaning, they learn that Sir Ollum has found his way to Corel in search of Lord Valoran. Bickering as to what this means and the potential danger of the situation, the Golden Hearts eventually find their way to their rooms for the night. It is the morning of July 23rd, as the party find their way down to the main room of the Tipsy Gnome, the constant rumbling of Bronzeshard drifting from the front door, as Adam gives the group a concerned look from the bar. So, Golden Hearts, as however you see fit, find your way down to the main room of the Tipsy Gnome, after, various good, bad, mediocre night of rest. You do see Adam sat at that large circular bar that surrounds the center of the room. He's in a deep conversation with the owner, JJ. As you guys come in, he gives a kind of worried glance over to whoever has made their way down so far. But it's up to you, how you want to kick off the day.
I imagine Rolly would be up and fidgety through the night, ready to get going. So I'd go down and I see Adam down there.
Yeah.
And he said, "What seems to be the matter, Adam?"
He kind of gives one last look at JJ before looking over at you, and he kind of looks around, and there's no patrons this early in the morning right now. He kind of hops off the chair, kind of makes his way over to you. Master Rolly, I've been informed. I was making preparations for our departure down below, and making sure that we had, enough rations and food and supplies and whatnot. We're not allowed through the third level of Bronzeshard, as far as I'm aware. The owner told me that they don't particularly like non-dwarvish folk down there, and that seems to be a problem, right?
It's a very large one, typically, but this is not a typical endeavor, and I believe that Dongrador will have spoken with them. Shouldn't be a problem at all.
Well, simple enough, but I did spend the evening and this morning getting the cart ready and all the supplies ready and straightened out, so whenever the party sees fit, we should be good to set off. So that at least is taken care of.
If you've no further preparations, could you please send a message to Dongrador that we're ready to be on our way and ask him if he secured passage for us.
I certainly won't say no to a chance to go see the temple. I certainly did not see everything that I wanted to on our first visit, so yes, I'd very, very gratefully do that. So he would then quickly turn around, depart, head out the door with a little skip in his step.
I'll go with you, Valorant says from the stairs.
Kind of like stops at the door, turns around and goes, good morning, my lord. Do you want to give me more lessons on the art of the temple?
I suppose.
Ooh, fantastic.
Carry on.
So you're just following him out? Okay.
Yeah.
Thor, Jarek, what are you doing?
I would be getting up, coming downstairs, kind of hearing the commotion, conversation, just kind of listening, and then, wait, so we're not allowed down there?
Speaking to Rolly, I assume?
Yeah.
Well, it's not so much that they're not allowed, it's that they prefer to never let anybody but a dwarf down there. It's not really a law, just a centuries or so old understanding.
Interesting. Do you think I should challenge them to something?
I think it would probably be wisest to let me begin conversations with anybody who would otherwise deny us passage. But if it comes to a feat of strength, we'll certainly put you in as our champion.
Alright, well, if my services are required, I will do it.
But in the meantime, the ale here isn't going to drink itself, and very dehydrated from sleep last night.
And Rolly would order an ale.
Okay. So as a little side note, Rolly, if you do want information that you would reasonably know about, preferences or, rituals or understandings, that Rolly would know, go ahead and feel free to ask those. I just don't quite know what bits of information I'm going to throw your way. But, Jarek, okay. What are you doing, sir?
So Jarek would have taken extra time today to clear out his clothes, mage hand them a little bit nicer, as he's decided to go ahead and start putting his lessons from Valorin and what little he has learned into play. So he would look a little bit spiffier than normal, so, not that normal layer of dirt and grime all over himself. He'd actually look kind of nice. Mm-hmm. And as he walks down, he'd have a little bit more of a straight back, more of a stiff and formal gait to his walk as he would come down and see the Rolly and Thor at the barn. A good day to you both.
Good morning, Jarek.
Wait, who? That's... Oh.
Thorasius, do not worry. Everything is in order as it should be.
Rolly, what did he just... What did he just call me?
Thorasius.
You just... No. It's Thor. Don't call me Thorasius, it's Thor.
Thor, as it stands, everything shall turn out just fine. No need to worry. Master Halfbeard, have you secured passage for us? I believe you were waiting for your former master to provide the necessary permissions.
Out of character. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember back. Did we understand that the last time this happened, it was Jarek being more or less possessed.
Yes.
And we would know that we're probably talking to Dog right now.
Potentially.
Okay. I'm sorry. Master Jarek, please repeat yourself.
Rolly, if I may be so bold, it is up to you to secure us passage. Has that been done?
We're working on it. We've only begun the morning.
I see. Very well. Hearty breakfast, and we shall be off, I suppose.
And maybe a less hearty breakfast, maybe a healthy one. Plain bowl of porridge and some light ale. After all, you're trying to lose weight, aren't you?
Such victuals are not satisfactory. They require sustenance for our most tedious of journey that we shall have. Barkeep. And wave over to JJ, who I assume is wandering about. I need your breakfast, something most hearty, please.
Certainly, yes. You are looking smashing this morning.
As must be expected by one of my station. Thank you.
So he would then eagerly begin to prepare a hearty breakfast, as Jarek proposes. I think we'll shift over to Valorant and Adam as you guys are kind of heading up towards the Mother's Helm. After you depart the Tipsy Gnome itself, Adam would kind of turn back to be like, well, how are you finding Bronze Shard so much, my lord? I find it very overwhelming sometimes, but it is gorgeous.
I suppose.
You seem a bit
I thought there were all the problems of a big city without as much of the charm.
You seem a little distracted or agitated. Is there anything that I can do to help, or something that you might need from me?
As long as you continue to perform your duties in your customary conscientious manner, then that will be enough. Or else I will let you know.
Very good, my lord. Yes, I have no intention of failing in my duties. I was a little bit concerned that might be a problem this morning, but it sounds like Master Dongrador, or I can't remember if I got his last name, but he has the little pass that we need to go down below, and then we shall strike into the depths, which is thrilling. It's going to be interesting.
Keep your wits about you.
I will do my best. But yes, let's go forth. So would you just follow him basically up to the Mother's Helm Temple?
Yeah.
Do you have any sort of intentions once you get there besides just kind of tagging along?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can buy something from them.
Okay. What are you looking for?
So I want to ask specifically if we can catch up with Rolly's buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to find out, like, do they have vestments, or do they wear an emblem, tabard, tunic?
So the chosen children, the four that you saw there, kind of like the head honchos of this religion, they don't really have like an outfit. Dongrador that you saw is dressed in almost kind of like human noble-esque kind of clothing, kind of like a doublet, tight-fitting, kind of ornate, I guess more presentable clothing. The acolytes that you kind of see running around wear a variety of kind of gray, white, and brown robes, all of a similar cut, but just a slightly different color. You can kind of assume that potentially their ranking in the religion is tied to that, but they would all have the similar symbol of the mother that Rolly has on like an amulet around his neck, that they all wear and all have. But besides that, there really isn't any prominent, dress or outfit or, garb that they wear besides that.
Okay. So, in that case, then I'll ask him who he would recommend in the city for clothing.
Okay. Just like tailored clothing?
Fine clothing, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, as you guys make your way into the temple, Adam was set upon by Rolly to look for Dongrador and see if he had any sort of pass or whatnot. So Adam, goes in, taking a reasonable amount of time to kind of look around and, appreciate the dwarven architecture that he very much enjoyed the first time he came through, but then begins kind of like shifting around the room, looking to see if he can find Dongrador, but not finding him, eventually approaching an acolyte, asking for him, and saying that he will go and retrieve him, and you two are basically just kind of left to wait in that Great Hall temple area for the time being. So, but we'll hop back to the tavern, unless there's anything you want to do at this time, Valoran.
Not in particular.
Okay. So I imagine the party that's at the tavern, gotten any sort of ale or food that, requisitioned and sat at a table kind of waking up for the day, I assume.
Oh, Master Jarek. I've noticed on occasion you change your demeanor, and it almost seems as if you're possessed by somebody.
Rolly, I thank you for your concerns, but I assure you everything is going according to plan, as best as I can hope. We face harrowing times, I expect, here in the upcoming week. I only wish to be prepared.
Oh, that's what's going on with him. He's the, yeah, got it. Check. What's up, dog?
Thor, no.
What do you mean?
As you know, I have been studying the noble arts through our compatriot, Lord Athelvane. I must put into practice if I wish to succeed. We must not begin something without testing it first.
Do you even know what you're saying? Because I don't even know what you're saying. Enough said. Yes, indeed.
Thor, I thank you for your concern, but no. I expect there could be quite a most fortuitous payday coming up. And if you would like to assist me, your help would be most appreciated. But I ask that you not hinder my efforts.
Okay,
And Jarek would like daintily eat as he talks about this.
Okay.
Something about money and helping you. Are you taking money from me again? I mean, are you really that broke? Do you need a lot of money?
Jarek would break at this point. Thor, I am not that bad off. Okay? We're gonna do some things. I need to act like a noble. Do not fear. I appreciate your assistance. Everything will be perfectly fine.
So Rolly would go over close to Jarek's head and just knock him on the side of the head. So it really is Jarek in there right now. I must say I'm impressed.
Just because I am offering a more appropriate and societal manner right now, Rolly, do not think I will not blast you off your feet.
And then I would smack him right in his cheek. Hard.
No, I think Jared could just fall off the stool.
Rolly, careful, you could kill him.
Rolly, jeez, God, come on.
Well, I just threatened you the way you threatened me.
I used words, Rolly.
I used
your fist.
It's like talking here. But anyway.
You know, Rolly, I think it would be fun if we just try to make him break, like, all the time.
No. Let's finish up. We really do need to be going.
Alright, well, that's what me and Carl will be doing.
Jarek would eat his last of his breakfast in sad silence.
Okay. So, hopping back over to Valorant and Adam, after waiting really just for about 5 or so minutes, eventually the familiar sight of Dongrador does come. He appears to have, just woken up, a little bit of grogginess in his eyes. His, outfit isn't quite as in place as it should, but he kind of, peers around the room, kind of sees Adam and you, starts, clicking over with his cane. He goes, well, not the golden heart that I expected, but, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Is there something you needed? And Adam kind of chips. He's like, yes, I was sent to get the pass that allows us to go down into the 3rd level. Master Halfbeard said that you would have it for us. Kind of looks from Adam to you, Valorant, and then back down. He's like, I did send forth my words to the council in hopes of procuring that, but it appears that they listen about as well as my wife, so you might have to retrieve that yourself.
We have to visit this council personally.
Yes, getting a pass from them is the legally correct way of doing so, but the Bronze Fists are, an organization before anything else, so you could potentially bargain with them or pay your way through. I've never had to do it before, so I don't quite know how that all operates, so.
Uh-huh. What are the odds that they just want a half-beard to kiss the ring?
They really do not like the non-dwarven folk. And he kind of gestures to Adam and then to you. He goes, and last time I checked, neither of you were half-dwarvish.
Mercifully. Well, then we will relay this problematic news to Mr. Rowley.
I do have one thing, and he kind of reaches into his back pocket and pulls out a folded-up piece of parchment. He goes, could you give this to Halfbeard the next time you see him?
I will.
Much appreciated. I wish you luck on your descent below and, Mother's speed.
Before we go, who would you say is one of the better clothiers in Bronchard?
Well, I always go to Caravax, Textiles, and Tailoring. He's down on the 2nd level, just before you reach the 3rd level. It's around 75 degrees.
Very good. Well, in that case, good day to you.
Good day, and, wish you all the best, especially you, young one. Adam goes, yes, thank you. And then kind of turns to you, kind of going by your departure.
Well then, Talmian, are you going to accompany me to this clothing store?
Certainly. I can always give my expert opinion, my lord.
I'll probably have you carry the purchase to the wagon, but who knows? And we're off.
Okay. So, you have to kind of go past the Tipsy Tavern to get to this. Would you want to stop by there or go straight to the textile place?
Straight, I want to make it quick.
Okay. So Adam just kind of, chipperly just kind of follows you along. Eventually, it is early in the morning, but again, days in Bronze Shard are kind of murky. So various shops that are open kind of have like their doors open and the signs swinging. And going by the vague directions you were given, you kind of are wandering around the circle, passing by the Tipsy Gnome as you go, and eventually you do see a rather... It's a weird mixture of what kind of reminds you of like surface architecture. Like there is a peaked roof and like wooden pillars and whatnot into this like stone building set into the wall, which, obviously the roof would serve no purpose down here. But it's almost kind of like a breath of fresh air from the kind of distinctly dwarven architecture that you've been surrounded by. So the door is open. There's a few kind of glass windows with various, high society garments kind of displayed in the front. It's just like free for you to go inside.
So I'll head inside and actually try to be put on a good face and be personable and sort of smiley as Valoran's ever been.
Okay. You want to go ahead and make this kind of like a in and out kind of thing?
More or less.
Okay. So what's your goal?
So Valoran's there to get a dwarf-sized, maybe tunic or half cape, to spend like 5 gold or so, but something fine, something on the higher end,
Okay,
but
go.
something that I don't have to worry about it being fitted, since
Okay.
Rolly's not here.
Gotcha. Go ahead and give me a persuasion roll then. Okay, starting it off strong. Let's see. The best offer that he's willing to give you is kind of like a very elegant embroidered sash, more or less. Kind of like almost kind of like a poncho that hangs over, other garments, with like very well stitched, like dwarven kind of rune markings, basically, kind of running down the length of it. A small little like bronze pin that's very well crafted and kind of like swirled around this like deeply blue sapphire. Is blue? I think so. Yes, thank you. But yeah, so that's kind of his offer for about 5 gold pieces.
Splendid. I think this will be just perfect.
Okay. So he would very eagerly sell that to you and, send you on your way, I suppose.
Tell me if you'll take this and put it away neatly in the wagon.
Can I, wear it on the way back?
Fine, but don't let the others see you.
Oh, yes. And he kind of, puts it on, and it's much too large for him, so he almost has to, kind of overhang the excess fabric, back over his shoulder. But he, tries to almost walk as you do, as you guys, make your way back towards the tavern, standing as tall as the little gnome possibly can, moving through Bronze Shard back towards the tavern. But we'll hop back to the party at the tavern, and Valoran, you can kind of decide whenever you return and come back inside.
Roger.
But it's up to you three what you want to be doing, kind of finishing up your breakfast, could be checking in on the wagon, discussing plans, or...
I would just, I would finish up my food and go stand outside and wait for Adam to return.
Okay.
Or Adam and Valoran.
Thor and Jarek, what are you doing?
Jarek would finish up.
I would
pay his. Or no, he doesn't pay because he. Finish up, head outside, and do some stretches.
No, you don't get to go outside.
Thor,
JD, come here. Sit back down.
Thor, why do you hinder me as such?
JD, we need to talk about this murder.
Sure, kind of look around real quick, make sure no one's within earshot, and Thor is what? What about it?
Well, why didn't we address this? Why didn't you bring this up? Why did you why? Lots of whys.
Thor, what do you want? Because, like with everything in my life, if I just ignore it, it usually works itself out. Look, I don't know what to do, and more importantly, I'm not really happy with these circumstances of the town right now, and considering that Alum is in the town, there's not much we can do about it.
Well, considering we're like a week away from the town now, there's not much we can do about it.
Well, we were busy then. We're busy now. Croak seems like he was gonna have it handled.
Really? So now you trust Croak a lot?
Well, I've left him in charge of the town. Because, it's not like I do anything.
Yeah, so you expect him to solve the murder? You don't think he's looking...
him to just leave it alone.
What?
I mean, the guy was... What? It was just some crazy old man. No one liked him.
But that's not a good sign to just say, oh yeah, people get murdered here, and we're just like, yeah, it happens every once in a while. We just let it go.
Well, look at Kraylin. People probably get murdered every day in that city, and you know what? Most prosperous city we've been to, other than, the other one. That's not the point.
GD, I don't think people die every day in that city. I really don't.
I assure you, people die every day.
Yeah, but is that because you killed them?
Well, obviously not.
How do we know that?
I'm around you all the time, Thor.
No, you're not. I'm not around you all the time.
I mean, look, how often do I slink off? Not that often.
I just wish you would have told us, before we left.
Okay,
because
we know
now... No. Now, we have to go back to figure it out. And who knows how many more people could die between now and then.
Well, there's a slight problem of having a hostile noble's murder man in my town right now. So before we deal with some crackpot getting offed in a very particular and suspicious manner, I'm a little more concerned with the well-being of the rest of the citizens, considering they are probably going to be held hostage.
Hey, have we ever, Crown of Memories that the girl, what's her name? I don't remember her name. Elf girl.
Hypatia?
Hypatia, yes, that's it, yeah.
I'm still going with Elf girl.
I mean, no.
But
she was not, there with us for very long. I don't think she would be...
Yeah, but are we sure that she's the one that they're talking about? Because I don't remember us ever bringing that up to her. Did you tell her? I mean, you probably told her a lot of things.
Thor, let me be blunt. You probably let slip that something happened. You did any, digging on her own. May have put two and two together, but that's not... that's just kind of something I have to deal with.
I think this all goes back to not murdering somebody may have been the correct answer there.
Well, I'm sure it was, Thor, but, I was drunk on excitement, and I thought it was a good idea at the time, okay? I mean, look at the end result. Jeremy became mayor of Dragoncliff, everything's prosperous.
But who's to say that wouldn't have happened anyways?
Well, if you recall, the bandits, I'm pretty sure, were paid off by Hillthorn, probably to come, force the citizens to quit complaining. So
yeah, but that doesn't make him look like a very good mayor now, does it? So wouldn't he have got kicked out anyways?
Well, we can't know that because I killed him. So...
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. And now we have to deal with the repercussions. Oh my god! The consequences of that. That's what I thought.
Thor, look, we can't do anything about it right now. But what we can do is try and get into Folk. Let me put on my act, and hopefully Valoran will agree to it. We can steal some gold and then help him and then get back and deal with that.
Wait, what? What do you mean steal gold? What?
Well, I mean, it won't technically be stealing because if everything works out, I will have all the technically appropriate documents, but that's not the point.
What? Where are we stealing gold from? Why do you just come up with these plans that nobody knows about?
I am a mastermind.
Really?
Here,
you believe that?
Thor, I will let you in on all the details later on. It's foolproof.
The last time you let me in, somebody died.
You'd have to be more specific. We've killed a lot of people.
Talking about the mayor, JD, the mayor.
Oh, that. Yes. No. Thor. Look. We can only deal with one problem at a time.
Okay. But I'm saying that if you have a problem, I need you to tell me, or Valoran, or Rolly, or anybody. Literally, you could tell Adam if you wanted to.
No,
but then
never.
Yeah, I know.
Cool.
But
okay, you want to know my problems? Okay, here's the first one. I don't know what to do with the town. It burns when I pee. And you know what? These clothes are getting very ratty. So I need to change those. Do you need any more of my problems?
I mean, one of those seems significantly more important than the other two.
No, I agree. I should probably go to a healer, but that's not.
Dude, you're so lucky that I just don't feel like hitting you right now. I need you to be like serious mode, okay? I don't need your stupid personal problems. I need like real people problems that affect others.
We will take care of it when we can. But right now, I think it is in the best interests of the people of Corel if we can get rid of Solomon and his little watchdog so that they don't all get sacrificed in some kind of political smorgasbord of who's got the bigger stick, okay?
I think you're just looking way too far into that. I don't think a lot of people are gonna die necessarily. I feel like this is more of just a talking game at this point.
Yes, well, you know, my wife and children are there with a madman. Or maybe he's not mad. Maybe he's perfectly sane. I don't know. I can't know.
Yeah, you've literally never met him.
But he's connected to Valoran's political rival, which probably means my family's going to get murdered. So the sooner we can remove him, the sooner they will be safe.
Okay.
Jarek, your tattoo begins to glow ever so slightly and kind of gives you a calming sensation.
Yeah, yes, okay, fine.
Yeah, and like, what's going on with that? Why do you keep glowing?
Thor, look, I will gladly answer all of your questions when we are not so pressed for time. And Jarek will just kind of shiver with not quite rage, but concern. Thor, I am barely keeping it together. Okay? So, if you really want to help, then let's get rid of Solomon. Valoran will be happy. Folk will be happy. And then we can get the heck out of there. Back to Corel. And make sure my family is safe. And after that, I will do whatever it is you need to help figure out this murder. I'm already working on being a better person.
What do you mean help me figure out the murder? You are the one that needs to figure out the murder.
No, I already told you, if I just leave it alone, it works itself out.
No, JD, that's not how things work.
So as, Rolly, you are standing outside the Tipsy Gnome, hearing bickering coming from inside, Valorant and Adam are making their way there. As soon as they get within eyesight, Adam quickly ducks behind Valorant and begins trying to shimmy off the little sash, and then begins folding it behind your back as you finish approaching.
So, what news, Valorant?
There is no pass. We must see the council.
Well, do you think we should do it all together, or should I go alone?
I think that's a question for you. This problem seems to be based on some rather garden variety racism. I don't know if our presence would make things more difficult or not.
Yes. I feared as much, but let me see if I can manage it in a... If I can manage it quickly, would you mind getting the group prepared to travel?
We'll be here waiting.
And...
Well, Adam would start kind of poking the back of Valorant. My lord, there is the note?
Oh, thank you, Talmian. And he'll fish out what he was given and hand it to Rolly.
So, Rob, the thing that I messaged you the other day would be the note that you are then handed.
Okay.
As far as the actual wording on it and what that means, we can get into it, but obviously it's in Dwarvish, so...
Yeah, so it's...
But from what you recollect, it is a copy of the page that Dongrador showed you in the Grand Archives.
Okay, and so it's the hexagon with the multi-colored stone on each point with the yellow eye with the jewel on the middle.
Yeah, and it was called the Amulet of the Five.
Amulet of the Five, and that's what was used to imprison
Toradan.
Yeah, the first time, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so the text that's written on there, just at a glance, would I understand what the gist of the text was?
Yeah, so it seems to be basically a small summary or synopsis / description of what the amulet is, how it was used, who was involved. Again, a lot of it is kind of piecemeal added onto by various different members of the church. So it kind of has small snippets from a bunch of different people, but if you read it all, you can kind of piece together a narrative more or less.
Well, that's hopefully going to be helpful. I would put it away inside my cloak. And then I'm going to head down to the 3rd level and see if I can find who would I believe would be in charge.
The gang of the 3rd level is called the Bronze Fists. The leader of the gang, which you would know, because it's kind of common knowledge, his name is Gorn Bronzehand.
Alright. So I'd make my way down to speak with Sir Gorn.
Mm-hmm. So, as you kind of descend down into the 3rd level, there's basically a small kind of culturally defined line of where the 2nd level and the 3rd level kind of separate. And as soon as you pass by that line, you can kind of see a broader view of the level from where you stand. And you see there are 2 distinct, walled gates around the circle itself. One of the ones that is named after a struggle where there was a battle long ago, and the mortal living races had actually fought down to that gate and were stopped there, hence the name the Mortal Gate. But as you get to the Mortal Gate and kind of glancing around, you see a plethora of dwarves. Everyone down here is a dwarf, but there is a mixture in all of the populace that are wearing one bronze gauntlet on their right hand. And you would know, as culturally, this is what signifies them as being part of the Bronze Fist gang. So you see about 10 or so kind of milling around the gate itself as you're approaching, all of them kind of eyeing you, but not really giving you more than a second glance due to you, being a dwarf and a man of the mother, obviously, just kind of walking up.
Good morning. Looking to speak with one gone bronze hand.
I'm assuming you're saying this in common?
In Dwarvish.
Okay. Yeah, so they would all just kind of glance over at you, kind of look you up and down real quick, and then they would reply in Dwarvish. You're looking for Gorn? What do you got with Gorn?
Well, that's a matter between Gorn and I, now isn't it?
Well, I don't know if he'll meet you if he doesn't know the nature of the meeting.
Would you please just tell him that Roly Halfbeard would like a moment of his time?
All right, follow me. And he kind of turns around, and one of the ones that's part of the group kind of breaks off, just kind of moving through the crowd. As you descend further into the third level, the kind of atmosphere of it shifts drastically. Instead of the kind of marketplace and vendors of the second level, this one is a pure kind of industrial feeling. There's a constant kind of hammering, banging, mechanical clicking and clacking all throughout the various buildings and workshops and factories down here. And so it just kind of constantly surrounds you and fills your ears as he, begins leading you further and further. Eventually, he does lead you to the Black River Plaza, which you understand, as far as just living in Bronzeshard, is kind of like the headquarters or main area that the Bronze Fists actually live and function out of. So he leads you back into the plaza, the main square building in the center of it being the kind of main common area, greeting hall, kind of gathering place for the gang itself. He eventually brings you up to the building, kind of holds a hand out for you to stop. He's like, I'll go introduce you and see what he says.
My thanks.
So he eventually dips inside, closing the door behind him. There is, as far as you can tell when you step in here, all of the various dwarves, which there are probably about 50 or 60 milling about in this area, all distinctly have that singular bronze gauntlet, and all of them kind of, give you one or so look as they pass by, going about their business and, whatever they're doing. But you're left to wait for maybe 30, 40 minutes, just kind of kicking around, waiting, having people walk by, until eventually the door opens, and this very short but stout dwarf comes out. He has distinctly a more pale skin than you're kind of used to with the more surface-dwelling dwarves, due to the nature of them never leaving the comfort of the Surbat Mountains. He has this strange kind of half-height, red-haired mohawk that runs down the length of his head, the other side's being shaved, and then he has a very elegant, braided, thick, long beard that kind of flares out from his chin and eventually kind of ends at the base of his chest with various bits of bronze and gold and silver kind of weaved into the intricate nature of it. But he kind of steps out. He's, adorned in this very nice, obviously very expensive armor that has been polished and well kept and very dwarven inspired. Kind of gives you an up and down. He goes, "Well, Halfbeard. Good God, man, you look like you've been through the ringer."
Well, it's been an interesting year. Have I ever met Gorn?
Probably not.
And it has been quite harsh with me. But never mind how I look. I clean up on occasion. I come with some urgency.
Kind of looks you up and down again, and as he's listening to you speak, you see him lift his right hand, and from basically where his elbow is all the way to the end of the arm, including the hand, is distinctly this mechanical appendage. Is that the right term? There is different bits of like pistons and gears and various, parts that kind of interlock within each other to make a purely mechanical hand that functions, having this like almost bare bones kind of skeletal feel to all the different fingers. And you see what is more or less kind of strange implements kind of attached to it, little like pipes coming off of it, and what looks like maybe like compartments with like small blades sticking out of it. It's a very odd thing to take in without getting a closer look, but he reaches up and begins kind of like just rubbing his face with the bronze fingertips, just kind of listening, and then eventually kind of nodding and replying, "Oh, well, I don't really like doling out favors without something being done in return, but what seems to be the problem?"
Oh, just a small matter of allowing passage for my party and I. Would you mind a more private meeting? What I have to say is not yet for public consumption.
Kind of like glances around, and you see like a small smirk play on his lips. He goes, "Boys, cover your fucking ears!" And he looks around, and as he says this, you kind of like glance around, you see all of them lifting their hands up, covering their ears, and then looking over at him. It's like, private enough?
I suppose it'll do. Have you ever heard of the Dark Prince Tordan?
Doesn't ring a bell, no.
Well, that's because many hundreds of years ago he made an appearance and the dwarves were able to stop him with the use of some various arcane relics. I'm on a mission to go into the tunnels and perhaps find the hammer or that forged them. He's returning, and if he's not stopped, it's more or less going to be the end of the world as we know it. I've spoken with the council, with the
chosen children.
The chosen children, and they view this as quite a imminent threat. Now, the reason I'm speaking with you is that the party that is assembled with me is considerably non-dwarven in nature. There's a human, a gnome, another human, and what the hell is Thor?
A Goliath.
A Goliath. And then a small salamander creature to boot. I assure you we won't be staying long, we'll be just passing through, but I understand that this is not something you would typically allow, but I'm asking you on the honor of the half-beard name that they will cause no problems, and we will be on our way as quickly as possible.
You see the kind of smirk that he was wearing before very quickly fade as you begin to reveal the contents of your party. And then his eyes kind of narrow, and you see the bronze hand that was kind of like stroking his beard more or less, kind of pull away and then cinch into this like metallic clacking fist that kind of locks in place. And he kind of stares down at you, or stares up at you, I guess, because he is a small bit shorter than you. "When they said it was a half-beard calling for me, I knew that you might be a little soft in the head as your family protected us from the surface. I was hoping maybe that you had some wit about you, but apparently it's true what they say about half-beards down here. Why should I let surface lovers wander down here and ruin our way of life and dredge this dark prince down here. I've never heard of him. He doesn't bother me none. Leave him up there to deal with the folk that brought him around in the first place.
You do understand that as the dwarves were the ones who were instrumental in banishing him the first time, that this likely will be a first stop for him.
Well, you tell me one thing, I believe another. I imagine if we just blow open that fancy fucking gate they built, and we keep to ourselves, then no one's gonna come marching down here to take out their slight on us.
Being such as this is not bothered by rubble in front of a broken gate. Vindsvept.
Oh, you finally make some sense. We'll bring down the whole damn city and have them dig through that rubble.
I think you might find that most of the city would disagree with your plan. I don't think they would go through with it. Anyway, we don't need to sit here and natter all day like old grandmothers. What's it going to take? And before you answer that, what do they say about half-beards down here?
You see him kind of chuckle a little bit, a small bit of the smirk returning before he kind of like brings himself back. They say that you defend humans as much as you do, or defend us from the surface above, because you're all in love with the tall folk and can't stand your own kind.
Many people can say many things. It doesn't make it right.
Yeah, but if enough people say it, eventually a bit of truth is weaved in, no?
Well, they say that the Bronze Fist has such a large, shiny gauntlet to make up for things that are smaller elsewhere. And I hear quite a few people say that. Does that make it true?
You see again a little bit of the smirk come back. It's like, that right there is the dwarven way. Why would you bring that and disperse it through the ilk that walk around on the surface? Do you not have any respect for your own kind, Halfbeard?
I have more respect for my own kind than I think you'll ever give me credit for. This is not the time or the place to convince you of that. My task is urgent, and I would ask you, what will it take?
He kind of looks down and ponders for a moment, realizing that he's in a very advantageous position. Well, I've never been one that's great at negotiating, but I have heard that to put forth the offer first is to give the other a little bit of a leg up. So what do you have to offer me, Rolly Halfbeard, and then I will tell you what I want.
Couldn't begin to understand what it is you would like. I don't have much gold. Never had much need for it. Don't have many possessions. Neither do my companions.
I know what I want from you, Rolly Halfbeard, and you seem like just the man for it. You're familiar with the scum that run level 2, the kin lovers. The gang that runs level 2 is known as the Mortal Kin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I've had some real dealings with them.
Well, the man that would call himself a leader, Karmic. Kill him for me, and I'll let you through.
I appreciate a good joke this early in the morning as much as anyone, but dwarves do not kill dwarves.
I do find the image of his head on a spike rather humorous. And I do...
Take it from him, then. You've got quite the contraption there.
I don't think that I would get very far. But you, on the other hand, could walk right up to him. And it's not even like killing a dwarf. He gave up that right when he started mixing in with the others.
I'm not going to kill anybody.
Then you're not going through level 3. It's been a lovely meeting, Halfbeard.
You're making a mistake.
I've made a great many mistakes. One of them cost my arm. But this is not one of them.
How about something... How about you and I settle it?
Are you challenging me, Halfbeard?
No. A challenge would be much more direct than that. I'm offering you that option.
I like your style, Halfbeard. I appreciate a stout dwarf when they come my way. I will make a deal with you. I will put forth a champion of the Bronze Fists to fight a champion of your party. If you win, you may go down to the level below. If you lose, well, we'll establish that when we get there.
Fair enough. And it delights me that a non-dwarf will be my champion.
Well, then I will take great pleasure in seeing him fall.
We'll return shortly.
Looking forward to it.
Pleasure. Then I would return back to the party.
Okay, so during this time, probably like an hour or so this took. So if the party want to be doing anything, talking about anything, you could certainly do that.
I was going to say, as Rolly was leaving, me and JD and I would be walking out of the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just say, JD, you solve this. This is your murder. You solve it.
Thor, don't worry about it. It will be handled.
By you.
Oh, hey, Valorant, yes, good to see you. Most gratuitous morning to you.
Morning.
Yeah, I had the same thing. It's like he's trying to imitate royalty.
I appreciate your attempt at an explanation, no, Lord Valorant. I simply believe our most uncouth behavior will not be appreciated in your kingdom. I suppose it would be better to adopt some better manners.
Manners are paramount where we're going. Is that all this is about?
I think you will find it is a difficult transition from a rough, uncut gem to one of polished worth.
Quite. And you must be aware that there are none with more discerning eyes as to a gem's value than the high society of folk.
Then I hope what we offer shall be pleasing.
Wait, we're giving them gems?
No,
As
it's a
astute
metaphor.
as always.
You should also be aware, Jarek, that, well, let's just say I hope you don't expect me to vouch for the value of any gems to the people of folk. Just so we're clear.
We each shall play our parts. I do not expect undue effort on your part.
Carl, the gems are us. Yeah, I got it.
Carl just points at the messaging stone in his head and kind of like bonks it on his hand a little bit.
Control your pet, Thor. It would be most unfortunate if we were to break our only sending stone.
JD, settle down. I am controlling my pet.
And be careful.
You're talking to me?
Him.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure. So, where did you go?
I went with Talmian to the temple.
Adam then, like, lifts up the little garment and he goes, "We went shopping."
Oh.
Talmian, I asked you to put that away in the wagon, I believe.
"We did not go shopping." And he wanders off to the back of the tipsy gnome.
Good help. So hard to find.
Yeah, okay. Lord Valorant, I see you trying to get fancy on us.
It's not for me.
Who's it for?
It's for Rolly.
Rolly?
Yes.
Why are you giving Rolly that? You think he'll wear it?
I think it would improve the situation if he would when the time comes. And don't worry about feeling left out. I just didn't think they would have anything in either of your sizes down here.
No, I wouldn't want it anyways. I thought you were getting all fancy for you and, your approach to your hometown.
It's not a matter of want, Thor. We need to put our best foot forward. Jarek is not wrong about that.
You bring up a very good point, though. Thor, you could do with more clothing, even if it is simplistic in nature, and I could certainly use something that does not have so many holes in it.
I'm pretty good right now. I mean, I went to the Dukes looking like this. And now we're best friends.
It's different, Thor. It's different.
What if all world people are just the same? They just want to be understood like normal human beings. Why all the fanciness?
Understand that Folkish children are told if they misbehave, then your people will steal them from their beds in the night. We have to dress things up a little bit.
Well, I mean, that does maybe happen. I don't remember the specifics of raids, but it may happen, so it's a valid fear. See, but I'm that person, so I don't have to worry. I'm good.
We don't want others to worry.
Oh, true.
It may be in our best interest to have Thor wait in the cart while we travel through folk.
What?
We have to be prepared. We can't expect him to be in the cart for weeks. I have no idea how long it will take to resolve these matters.
Then perhaps as we travel, seeing a Goliath strut about may not endear us to the common people of folk.
I have some ideas, but it can wait until we're closer. For now, that's what the sash is for.
On that note, where did you come by such vestments? It would be a good idea to upgrade my wardrobe some.
Down on the second level, I can show you where. I honestly didn't note the name. If you think they would have something to fit you.
Even if it is simply a nicer cloak to hide the rest. That would be fine.
Well, from what I understand, we'll be making our foray into folk near the capital city. There will be clothing shops.
And we do still have to travel. Perhaps it is best to wait to improve after we have passed through the peril.
Jarek, it would be irresponsible of me not to say this to you. Number one, far be it from me to cast aspersions on your honor, but if you do get it in your head to try to impersonate nobility, number one, I will deny all knowledge. Number two, before we continue our etiquette lessons, this is the lesson that I would say is most important of all, and the most difficult for you. Subtlety. If you feel a passing impulse to describe yourself as a noble, just say that you're a cousin in a minor barony on the far side of Giles. If you try to feed them tales of hundreds of servants and thousands of acres, these are families with enormous history. Some of them plot their lines to before the great entrance. They will know you for a liar by the simple fact that they do not already know you. Do you understand?
If we are to be transparent, I was not planning on pretending that I was the noble, but yes, I hear you loud and clear.
That's all that I wanted to express. Again, no offense intended.
I'm sure it wasn't, as you would never intend offense. On the note of your etiquette lessons, my handwriting skills, I feel, have improved. If you would like to take a look at my most recent attempts, and he'll pull out a sheaf of papers with Solomon's signature, just like...
Go ahead, give me a deception with advantage. Yeah, so over the last, day that you guys have been kind of functioning in Bronze Shard, you've been practicing also, I'm assuming, through the night, maybe a little bit of the morning. Valorant, it is pretty difficult for you to tell from the original that he has down to his most recent attempt. It's pretty close.
Derek, this is fine work. I am impressed. Do you think you'll try... Do you think you'll try writing anything else?
Well, depending on what you want, there's a variety of options we can choose to employ. I'm not familiar with your most honored friend here, but if he utilizes a scribe for most of his correspondence, then it's possible I don't need to mimic much that they would recognize.
That's true, but there are some notes that he may not want a servant to read.
As that is the case, I have a few tricks I can employ that will make it more believable.
Very good. Well then, Jarek, keep at it. You've already made impressive progress.
I may need to go check on something while we are still here. I bid y'all a good day. Please do not leave without me.
Should totally leave without them.
That was abrupt.
Yeah, what else do we have to... Where did he go? What does he have to do here?
The gods only know.
Oh, hey, look, there's Rolly.
Would I be passing Jarek as he's leaving?
Well, Jarek would be going the other way. I'm assuming you're going to the Iceborne ghettos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he would be leaving. You'd probably see him moving through the crowd as you came up.
But I wouldn't really have an opportunity to talk with him then.
I mean, you could go, like, run up and catch him. Or shout after him.
Yeah, I would try to go catch him real quick.
Wouldn't be hard.
Jarek,
Really?
Yes. I've arranged a meeting. We should all probably be there for a passage through the third level. So I was hoping that we could all leave right now.
I see.
We'll see, like, a little bit of sweat developing on Jarek's forehead.
Right, yes. I can meet you down there. I need to.
No, you
check on
certainly cannot go unescorted there. You would probably not make it out.
Oh.
Where are you off to?
I needed to check on a purchase. It was probably going to be quick.
Let's go then. Let's hurry it up.
Well, but why don't you let the rest of the group know, and I'll be back.
Thinking back to yesterday, how long did it take to get over to the Iceborne ghettos?
Like 10, 15 minutes to, like, get in there, find your way, get to the tavern, that kind of thing.
Okay. I'm sure I could meet you down at the entrance to third level in maybe an hour.
No, we'll wait here for you.
I shall run in that case.
Yes. So I'll go back to the tavern.
Okay.
Valorant, Thor. I spoke with Mr. Bronzehand. He's the leader of the faction that governs the third level, which, as you may know, has a strictly dwarf-only
Attitude.
Yes. They've agreed to let us through as long as our champion beats their champion.
We have a champion?
Well, one of us will be.
I think we volunteered GD.
That was precisely my thought.
Are you two making a joke?
That was
That was
precisely
entirely a joke. We would never let him go into any fight. We would try to really just...
no.
Because
So,
I often think that the feelings about him are not straightforward.
there's nothing straightforward about that man, but for the time being, we need to determine which of you two would make for the better champion. I don't know who we would be fighting, but I assure you it will probably be formidable.
I wish we had known this was going to happen. This would be a very good test.
Of
Wait,
what?
What do you mean we don't have it? Well, how do we not have it?
I didn't know we would be doing it the next day. I didn't prepare.
What do you mean you don't? How do you prepare for these things? Don't you just say, "Oh, I do this now"?
No, have you never seen me? Of course you haven't.
Well, how long would it take you to prepare?
Probably until tomorrow.
If you believe that whatever it is you're going to be preparing would make you the most apt choice for champion of the party, then we can certainly spend one more night here, but...
Well, there are other options.
It was the best deal I could arrange. Quite unreasonable.
This would have been such a good test run.
That's all right. That's all right. I think we can still do it.
So you would like...
We won't use the rings. We'll do it a little differently.
Okay. What do you... Wait, okay, hold on. Now, the way that you're talking sounds like you're kind of gonna be the champion, but I remember us talking about this, and it would be like me being the one. And who's doing this? Are you doing this, or am I doing this?
I have no particular desire to beat on dwarves today. I will concede this honor to you if you wish.
Oh, hell yeah.
Adam, who's been kind of lingering at the edge of the conversation, after returning from putting the garment in the wagon, kind of looks between you all and he goes, "Can't we just go to the council? Do it legally?"
That's where Rolly just went. This is the legal way for the dwarves.
Yes, the council was unable to secure unhindered passage for us, and as long as we can just mop up this tidy little fight, we'll be on our way.
Wait, do we talk to the council? When do we do that? Are you people serious about putting...
Yeah, let me make this real clear, because I think there's some confusion. You have never interacted with the council. You told Don Gregor to put a word in, but that's it.
And then he said that we have to go talk to them in order to get passage.
Yeah.
Which we have not done. But you went and talked down to the third level man, and he's like, if you beat the fuck out of this guy, then you can pass.
Okay. Got it. So...
we have two options.
So really the two options in front of us are fight or talk. Fighting might be... it's already a secured deal. If we win, we go through. Talking to the council might gain us nothing.
I talk to so many people, I just want to hit something.
This morning, I agree with Mr. Thor. He can do it, and I can help him.
Best friends reunited. I knew you liked me.
Well then, as soon as Jarek is back, then we'll be on our way. Best prepare yourselves, and... Thor, I've got all the confidence in the world, and... just try not to die. Short of that. But if you do die, there's some very accomplished clerics here that will probably bring you back to life with no problems whatsoever.
You know, the way I look at this is I at least get to hit something. If I get killed or knocked out, that's fine, because then we can just go talk to the people and be like, hey, we want to go through, let us through. And then if not, I just come back and I hit him again, but now we have our test weapon. I've been waiting for an actual challenge.
So let me ask you this out of character. Would Thor prefer immunity to fear and 5 temp HP that reoccur at the beginning of every turn, or +2 to AC?
I
have both of those prepared this morning.
That's actually both of those are really good. Because if I don't take more than 5 hit points.
I'll let you guys ponder this as we hit over to Jarek real quick. You guys can shoot stuff in the Discord back and forth if you want to figure that out. So Jarek, you are heading to the Iceborne Ghetto, correct?
Yes, head directly back to the weirdly jail-like tavern in order to find Tormik, or at least him or one of the other 2 that I had seen.
Okay. As you get back into the Iceborne Ghettos, it is distinctly much quieter. That still kind of like aggressive smell that you got yesterday hits you like a brick wall, but it appears that this is kind of like the quiet hours of the ghetto. A lot of people are just kind of like sleeping almost on the ground or like leaned up against the wall, just kind of fall where they lay. But you make your way through, again, getting a few kind of eyes from the various individuals that are awake, back to the tavern, or whatever you want to call this establishment. Distinctly, no patrons or dwarves are like set in front or inside. You go in, a little like kind of janky clattering bell goes off as you open the door, and you see the one-armed kind of cranky dwarf you had met yesterday kind of like lift himself up from the desk he sat behind, a little bit of drool kind of like trailing down his chin. He goes, What? Oh, you.
Yes, I am back. What can I say? Your ale was so delicious yesterday.
Didn't you spit it back up?
I just wanted to taste it twice.
What do you want?
I was hoping that you may have seen my fast friend Tormik. Or if not, you might know where I could find him.
You see a wide grin spread across his face. You see a little bit of like a smirk. It's like,
I don't know a Tormik.
Jarek will lean in real close, big smile on his face, and utilizing his words of terror, see if I can start talking to him. And
okay, so wisdom saving throw?
Yes, 14, and just I'm not sure that you are truly thinking about it. I'm certain that you would not want others to learn your establishment is so useless. I'm sure this would not be something you would ever want to see happen. Who knows where you would be without patrons if you cannot even remember their names? And try and just kind of strong arm him in that way.
You see his kind of like shit-eating grin begin to like very slowly kind of fade away, and hit like himself kind of like almost like pulling back from the desk and further into the kind of like armored, secluded area that he functions in. And eventually, after the minute goes by, it's clear that he is rather timid to your presence, and he just goes,
Tormik, this isn't his name. He gave you a fake name.
Well, then how convenient that you might be able to tell me his real name.
Odds or evens, Jarek?
Let's go with odds. Would the odds be ever in my favor?
Gotcha.
If I tell you, he'll kill me. And I'm more afraid of him than you.
Well, he's not here, though, is he? And I'll pull the crossbow up. And just kind of set it right there on the opening of the bars.
As you do so, you see his eyes kind of squint a little bit. He goes,
oh, no.
And you see his hand reach beneath the little desk thing. You hear like a metallic click, and then he brings out this mechanical instrument. It's about 2 feet long, has a long metal pipe that runs down the center of it. There is a distinctly kind of like heavy looking latch set onto the back of it, and his hand is gripped around what almost looks like a crossbow trigger on the other side. And he points the end of the barrel up at you and kind of freezes for a moment. He goes,
Don't do it.
Well, I think we can both be of help to each other. You can walk away with a few gold in your pocket, and I don't have to shatter everything in this room. Or we can both put a bolt in each other and die like savages.
you hear kind of like a soft cackle. He's like,
This doesn't fire bolts.
Then I guess we shall break everything in the room. And Jarek will start to raise up his fingers in a snapping motion, just staring him down.
okay, so you are actively going to do shatter.
I am trying to intimidate this guy.
My dilemma is as soon as you make a move, the action would probably pop off. So, if that's the action you're taking, that's kind of the event that's going to take place.
I'm going to guess my words of terror didn't work out.
It did, but there are certain limits to people.
Very true. Oh, it only lasts until attacked. Okay. Tell me, what's more important to you? A fight in the morning? Or to make some money?
I enjoyed how you acted last night, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. If you're born in these ghettos, you don't rat, you don't snitch. You live and die by the ghetto.
I too tended a bar for many years. Tell me, is there no camaraderie amongst those who must serve? I assure you, I have no quarrel with him. In fact, I'm going to give him money. It is in everyone's best interest.
Give me a persuasion, sir.
Okay.
How do you get in these Mexican standoffs so often?
Now, before you say a word, let's just...
Oh.
Jarek is lucky.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
I will lay it out as it is. I cannot tell you his name. And I cannot be intimidated by an outsider. So if you would like to leave, now would be the time. But I cannot stop you from waiting for his return.
I am a busy man, but when my other business is finished, perhaps I can return.
That seems like the wisest choice.
And Jarek will pull the crossbow down. Well, thank you so much for your help. I look forward to your delicious wares later on today. Perhaps sometime after noon.
I'll be here.
Can I insight him if he's also talking about not Tormik? Tormik.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's see what he's trying to.
That is a very good assumption to have.
Okay. A good day to you, sir. And Derek will flip around and stroll on out, and then run himself out of the ghetto as soon as he's past that door.
Okay. So yeah, we'll hop back to the three at the tavern, and Jarek, you can include yourself whenever you see fit. So, Valor and Thor, you were discussing tactics. Or potentially who the champion was.
I think we settled on a strategy.
Yes, I believe we have come to an agreement. Rolly, you didn't happen to steal JD's necklace when he was just running by you, did you?
You're muted, sir.
He's really good at miming.
No, why would I steal something from him?
I don't know. I was just...
So, just maybe a small chance for a small joke early in the morning.
Hey, Rolly. Give me an insight check.
Did it not go through?
I haven't seen anything.
Oh, I thought that was... Dude, I thought that was... the 23 was his. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Rolling natural 20s all over the place.
There's been, 2 or 3 natural 20s this session so far?
Yeah.
Okay, for whatever reason, it is not wanting to sync up.
You want to go ahead and just roll the d20 and then add the bonus?
Yeah. +8.
Oh, okay. We continue.
Wow.
Okay. I was just thinking, it is going to be Thor as our champion, correct?
Seems that way.
Just for a small moment, would you see fit to make Jarek believe that we've chosen him to be the champion?
Hell yes.
Yes. Great fun.
I believe, coming from you, he would believe it to be true. From Thor, I just naturally assume a joke.
It's actually really, really fair.
All right. I'll do it.
A bit of fun to start things out on the right note. Well, he said he wouldn't be long, so I guess we'll
Also,
wait.
his relief when he finds out the truth might make him more amenable to letting you borrow that necklace.
This is very true. I mean, let's be honest. Has he ever used it yet? No.
Sure, if you
I
just
think,
asked him, basically, he would just give it to you for the moment.
I mean, he might faint, and we can just, literally just take it off of him.
Are y'all in the tavern? Or
They're
still
standing
in the,
outside of the
courtyard?
tavern.
Yeah.
Y'all would start hearing loud panting and flopping.
Oh god,
of feet.
earthquake!
Okay, I'm back. Yeah. All right, Rolly. What do you got?
Well, we've determined that we shall be fighting for admission into the tunnels.
Oh, good. Yeah, Thor. You were looking for that, right?
No, Jarek, you see, I thought that this goes right in line with your etiquette schooling. There's nothing more noble than a duel.
What?
A duel. Between you and whoever they pick. They'll never see you coming.
Jarek will start to drain pale a little bit. I mean,
after all, the power of something residing within your gut, that's something that certainly their champion won't have.
yes, but they will spill my guts.
No.
We can let you borrow one of our actual weapons.
I have things, and he'll weakly pull out the double-headed Sam sword, but Thor,
Right, of course.
but Thor has the muscles and.
No, JD, you've been working out really hard, I think I'm actually starting to see some weight loss, so, I think this is a good time for you to really prove your strength.
And as a noble, that rapier you've got is an elegant weapon from a more civilized time.
I just cleaned these pants, guys. You can't do this to me.
We believe in. I can't do this.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah, no, it's okay, JD. I'm doing it.
Thor's the champion.
It's so funny. And as he quickly prestidigitates the line of liquid running down his pants. Yes.
But I will need your necklace.
Yeah. He'll just throw it at him.
Does that require attunement? I can't remember.
It does, I believe.
Oh, it does, yeah.
Okay.
I'd come up next to Valoran. That was remarkable. Thank you very much for that.
Don't mention it. What are you doing anyway? I don't see you with anything new.
Right. Unsuccessful in my endeavors. Perhaps another time.
Well, what's next?
Well, if we're ready, we just head there.
I think if we take a really slow walk, I'll be ready. Maybe JD pace.
Yeah, here, I need a little bit of time. That was quite the joke, but I need some.
And arrange to have the cart. We'll assume that we're going to make it into the tunnels after a successful bout with whoever they pitch forth, and we'll need everything with us. And you might find some new clothes in there.
Right. Yeah. I'll go check on the cart, and I think Jarek would go and actually just sit in the back with Sparky and just pet Sparky's head. I don't know if he's unwrapped yet.
Yeah, he's only wrapped up at night, so.
And he just sit there and coddle Sparky and pet his head and be like,
Rolly, I think next time, this is gonna be a while, in the future, but I think next time we get him for the mayor,
We get him for what?
The mayor.
Yes, probably want to give him a bit of time to recover first.
Yeah, no, I'm talking a while, but this is a mental note for us that next time, that's what we do. Have we ever told Lord Valor about that? About exactly what happened?
No clue.
I believe the
sign of
subject
caring.
has been danced around, if anything.
Yep, that's what I thought. Okay. I just whispered that to Rolly. I just want to make that clear.
He has zero interest.
Fair enough.
But that is where we'll take a 10-minute break, and then we shall hop back into it. we are picking back up as the party are, I guess, more or less getting ready to depart. Is that correct? Thor attuning to the amulet as you go. Jarek recovering from his accident. And then moving down to level 3, right? Is there anything else that has to take place before you guys actually get down there?
I do need to actually look up what is the item and how do I add it into my attunement things.
Jarek, do you want
The item itself is the Onyx shield pendant. It shows up as a shield.
Yep.
So I don't know if you can equip it while you have. But essentially, just understand you'll have a +2 AC for 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's okay. It still lets me equip it. It doesn't tell me. Hey.
I have to fix that. Totally forgot.
Oh. Yeah.
But it may mess around with some of your other stuff.
I would just say that you activated it and then just remember you have a +2.
Let me unequip it then so I don't tell you the wrong thing. Okay. Resume. My bad.
No, you're good. So is there anything else is there anybody else doing anything before you get to level 3? Okay. So, as you guys slowly begin to descend down to the infamous 3rd level, I'll go ahead and knock you guys over to that map. I'm imagining you guys are bringing the wagon with you. Is that what you guys... yeah, okay. So as, Adam is driving, Sparky in the back, everyone kind of moving as they would, horses kind of trailing behind the wagon. You approach the gate, and there is distinctly more bronze fists stationed there than Rolly had seen the first time. They are almost kind of sitting there anticipating your arrival as about 50 or so bronze fist members are almost lined up like a small wall between the 2 towers at the gate. A lot of them have their arms crossed, various different appearances of these kind of hardy looking dwarves, but they all are staring at you with not a friendly face, but that's kind of what you guys are approaching.
Do I see, let's see here.
Gron?
Yeah, do I see...
Or Gorn, sorry.
Gorn.
You do not.
Where's Gorn?
Kind of looks up, nods his head back, he's like, he's waiting for you. Supposed to bring you to him.
Alright, well then let's go.
So... basically, the formation that they're going to do is allow you to kind of come in and then basically kind of surround you as a whole unit and then guiding you down the road. So, Adam kind of looks around nervously as a lot of very angry glances are going his way as the wagon continues to move forward past the gate and then continue descending down the spiral, eventually kind of led off into the Black River Plaza area, where once you get into the plaza itself, that's finally when the kind of escort disperses, and you see a massive amount of the Bronze Fist gang kind of gathered around, almost like a crowd or an audience, as you guys come strolling into the area. It's clear that you're a rather unfamiliar sight for a lot of them. A lot of dwarves would be seeing a different race for the first time. So there's a lot of gawking and, murmuring and talking as you are led into the actual plaza. But eventually, as you guys are kind of brought to a stop, the doors to the main building in the center are left open, which allow you to see inside a little bit. It appears right now to be kind of like almost kind of like a cafeteria, like a smaller cafeteria with a throne kind of set onto the other side of the building itself. There's a lot of torches lining the walls to keep it lit. It's, fairly modestly kind of decorated, but you see Gorn Bronzehand sat on the throne on the other side, kind of looking at you through the door, and you see a very firm smirk upon his lips. He's slowly kind of tapping his bronze hand on the stone throne as you guys pull up.
JD.
Yeah. Yes.
What's the word? What do I have to say? Make it go.
Oh, yeah, Hold on.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're back as you instructed, God.
Are you guys going into the building? Because right now you guys are about like 100 or 200 feet away from him. You're seeing him like through the doors into the building.
Is that where we're being led to?
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of left to go into it at this point. So, we'll go ahead and just put you in there. Make it easier for you. So, this is the room that you are more or less allowed to enter, and then once you are entered, a bunch of the crowd from the exterior kind of like block the doors to the south. Basically, past this map is a sea of bronze fists, and then a few of them kind of come in, what you would imagine to be the kind of like upper echelon of whatever, hierarchy this gang has kind of crowded around. They're all eyeing you, as you appear to be this kind of almost like wild spectacle for them, especially Thor. As you enter, Gorn sat up on his throne on the far side of the room.
As we would be leaving the cart outside, I would bring with me the cask of Sparky juice.
Okay.
So I have it with me as we're in there.
Mm-hmm. So,
and then just go up to Thor. Thor, if you want, you can throw this at whoever they pull out right in the beginning, and it'll be very flammable if you find that useful.
Yeah, but how am I supposed to set somebody on fire, JD? He's just gonna be slippery, which might make him harder to hit.
Well, I don't know, but if you find a way,
put it back. Put it back.
I'll keep a hold of it.
Oh my god.
So a point of order going forward. All of the dwarves here only speak Dwarvish. So those of you who don't wouldn't understand the conversation unless it is kind of being dictated to you, or whoever speaks Dwarvish goes, I am conveying this to X. So just keep that in mind.
I'm going to burn a spell slot on comprehend languages.
I speak Dwarvish.
Yep.
Me too.
So
Does everyone speak Dwarvish if you use comprehend language, Jarek? I guess so.
Does Valorant speak Dwarvish?
Yeah. Well, never mind. So, Jarek, you burn your slot and you understand Dwarvish. But anyway, you guys have entered the building, and it's kind of, you guys are entering, so you're kind of left to make the first move.
Oh, gone, we're back.
Halfbeard, you have some, bizarre-looking friends.
Quite normal to me, really. Been traveling with them some time, and... but it's just... I guess that's irrelevant. Is there no other way that we can do this without violence?
I mean, there's no other way of doing it without violence, but the other way of doing it is taking care of the, problem that I gave you earlier.
Yes. Again, I'm not an assassin for hire. Thor will be my champion.
And which one of these, rats is Thor?
Yeah, that's it.
That would be me. Hello. Hi, yes. How are you doing? I'll say in Dwarvish.
So as soon as you speak Dwarvish, you see all of the dwarves around you kind of like stiffen up and almost kind of like look shocked. A lot of them reaching for their weapons as you do so. But they kind of get to the weapon, and Gorn kind of raises his bronze hand, and they all kind of stop, and he tilts his head down at you. He goes, "Do not ruin our language with your foul mouth."
See, you could look at it that way, or you could see that other races are cultured enough to learn the languages of others in a peaceful manner.
Yes, and then we should all hold hands, and then become the best of friends.
Why don't we do that? It would be much easier that way.
I want to touch... Valor touches Thor's arm and just whispers to him, alright, so... When I give you my blessing, don't waste any time. It won't last all afternoon, all right?
All right. Yeah, I just, I have to wait to see who I'm hitting.
So who is your...
Well, the only one fit enough to dispatch the likes of Thor, myself. Just threw my dice. That's fine. The last time I fought a Goliath, I threw him down the abyss in Bronze Shard, so perhaps we'll see that happen again.
Would I have ever heard of that?
No.
Okay. Just wondering.
I'm going to turn and speak so only Thor can hear me.
Mm.
Thor, if it's at all possible, do not kill him.
I mean, I'm going to be completely 100% honest with you. It was never my intention to kill him.
Yes. Trust me, one such as him, leaving him alive and defeated would shame him far worse than simple death ever would. And that might be what it takes to get a point across to the rest of these people.
I mean, do you want me to just, choke him out and make him concede? Because I could totally do that.
I'll leave it to you, Thor. It's your fight, but if it's within your power to grant him his life, I would think that might be for the best.
I will absolutely do that.
Well, if you are all done whispering to each other, I do have...
I'm whispering.
I was talking about how we were going to kill you.
And then very loudly, I would give the blessings of the mother on Thor.
Okay.
So that all the dwarves could hear that.
Ding.
I would start to play my lute nonchalantly. Just sit there, strike up a battle tune. Like, you got to throw him the bardic inspiration.
Okay.
I'll pull out my sword. Just prop it.
Well, clearly you all have made up your mind, but as a dwarf, I like to make sure that things are done fairly. So let me make sure that this simpleton understands what he's signing up for before we agree to it. And then he kind of shifts his attention over to you, Thor. He goes, if you beat me, I will let your ragtag band go down further into the highways below. If I beat you, I will toss you down the shaft of Bronze Shard. There will be no magic. There will be no potions.
Honestly, the only magic I know is how to talk to animals, so I don't have any magic for you.
So you agree?
I just have a lot of anger. Yeah, anger issues. Would you like me to resolve them right now?
Give me an insight check.
Okay. Let's see if this goes better this time. Yep, that's still not working. Okay. So... And +8 to that.
Okay.
24.
As you are discussing this, and after he says, no magic, you recall, knowing about the Bronze Fist and, Bronze Shard as a whole, that there's almost kind of like a technological warfare going on between level 2 and level 3. Level 2, which is, much more open to the surface and whatnot, loves magic, allows magic, lots of magical vendors, everything of that nature. Level 3 hates magic and kind of sees it as a curse or a slight to society. So a lot of the magical problems that they're faced with, they solve with mechanical ingenuity, basically. So when he says no magic, there is potentially more to that than just him stating no magic.
That's a hard one to figure out because I'm dumb.
In an anti-magic field of some sort.
Well, we'll find that out, won't we?
We will indeed.
Okay. So, that's still your answer, I suppose?
Yep.
Okay. So Gorn then kind of like places his hand firmly on the throne, shifts himself up. He's like, "Oh, I haven't had a proper throwdown in hours," and then begins to descend down from the like throne area. As he does so, the guy kind of to his left begins pulling out a piece of parchment from his side, coming down next to him, and he like lifts it up, and you can see from the back side of it, because it's written on both sides, that it is, you know, those of you familiar with scrolls, is some sort of magical scroll. And he kind of lifts it up and begins kind of like scanning it over as Gorn's kind of like rotating his shoulders, cracking the metal knuckles of his bronze fist, and then gesturing to Thor, he goes, 10-foot circle in the center. If you leave it, you forfeit.
What if you leave it?
Then I forfeit.
What if you're thrown out of it?
Then they lose.
Alright. Seems fair enough.
Fair enough.
You ready?
As ever.
Or the conviction and the pride of the Golden Hearts lie with you. And I will clasp arms with Thor and attempt to impart heroism.
Okay, so any sort of magical bonuses that you do get, and this is where it's going to come important what's magical and what isn't, are going to have no effect on you.
Okay.
So,
As in, like, the pendant doesn't work?
yeah, your sword won't work, potions won't work, you know, magical items, blessings, anything magical will not work.
My question to you is, do I still do the same damage with the sword?
Yeah, it just doesn't have magical damage, so it wouldn't, like, bypass any resistances. But you can't use the ability that it has.
Alright. I will step in.
Okay. So, try and be clear on what you have and what you don't. Like, this would be the moment to figure out what non-magical things are still in play and what aren't.
Yes. All that I have is the inspiration that I got, and then the bardic inspiration.
Okay.
And then everything else doesn't work. Except for, like, Stone's Endurance. That obviously works. And my feats and stuff work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there a way to tell what kind of range that non-magic has?
Guessing a 10-foot circle.
I mean, you could look through the telescope. You've done that before to see anti-magical fields.
Yeah, I think I would like to do that
Okay.
to determine exactly what that range is.
Okay. So as you do so, a few of the dwarves kind of looking over at you, kind of like wondering what you're doing, almost acting as if the telescope is like a weapon. But as soon as it's clear that it is a telescope and you lift it up, you are met with mostly black vision until you kind of like back up a little bit and you realize the field ends like just about in front of you. So the field, again, I'm just going to rough this one out, is about that-ish. That's not exact, but about in that area.
Okay, I would like to position myself probably about there.
Okay.
Just scoot over a little bit.
And to be clear, anything that I do is not magical.
It's divine, right?
Right.
I want to double check real quick, just to make sure I do it right.
If there's a distinction between arcane and divine, my stuff also is
That's
divine.
what I want to look it up real quick.
Could actually be buffed. Let's go.
I don't think there's a distinction between arcane and divine as far as an anti-magic field is concerned. So even divine spells would also not work. So, everybody clear on what's going on? Just want to make sure it's all ironed out.
Alright.
Okay.
Is like once I step into the circle, is it like happening?
Basically, I mean, like, there might be a little bit more dialogue, but yes, this is like the start of it.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, as he steps in, kind of like firming his feet down, kind of cracking his neck back and forth, you see him draw a one-handed warhammer from his side, gripping it in his left hand and his fist in the other. And he kind of like looks you up and down real quick. And again, he's a short dwarf, so he's pretty small compared to you. But he just kind of grins. He's like, "I wish you luck, Thor."
And you as well. I forgot your name.
You won't need to know it for long.
That's true. I've gotten the shit beaten out of me before. So, honestly, if you win, it helps me a little bit.
If I win, I am throwing you down the chute.
I don't die often.
Okay, let's fucking go.
His name's gone.
Roll initiative, sir.
18.
Okay, you are going first, sir. Let me get my little notepad out.
Alright.
If I need to do anything at any point in this battle, should I have an initiative order or just let you know?
Just let me know. We'll play it by ear. Okay.
Right, so I am raging.
Yep.
And to be clear, he's standing on the edge of the circle, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I am raging.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to attempt to just shove him out of the ring.
Okay.
So that's a contested athletics, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And what's Seth? What's your thing? D6.
1d6.
I'm gonna tell you this one because it was real fucking close. You got a 25. Wow, that was real fucking close.
I still have another attack.
Yeah. But
So
your first one, as you rush forward and the combat begins, all the dwarves kind of around you, kind of like getting ready, kind of almost like hunching in, kind of excitedly watching the action. You charge a quick 5 feet and then go to put hands on him. And you see, as you put your hands on him, his left hand kind of coming up with the warhammer, kind of like latching over yours, and his right one coming and actually cinching around your arm. And you feel the mechanical power of it locking onto your hand. And as you give him the shove, he basically uses the mechanical arm to hold himself in place. Basically kind of latched to your hands almost, as the shove basically pushes him a little bit, and then he comes right back to you as he lets go of the grip that he has.
And I'll kind of cinch a little bit like that arm, and then I will kind of further rage and just be like, and then I'll just dig my feet into the ground and push.
Okay.
Oh my god. Can I... I'll use my inspiration, why not?
Okay.
Do I just roll a 20?
Yeah, you just roll again.
Oh my fuck. Are you fucking serious?
So as you shove, and again his arm holds himself in place against you, you think back to the Battle of the Goblins. You think of all the rage and fuel that you had during that time, and you draw forth another shove, pushing your weight against him. You see his smile only widen deeper as you try to shove him yet again, and you just cannot move him. He seems to just be an impossibly thick object placed in your path.
Oh my
And
god,
then-
did you go to Boulder School?
I eat boulders for breakfast.
Oh shit.
So is there anything else that you have this turn?
No.
Okay. He has a lot of options. Okay. So as the last time you go to shove him and you feel his arm kind of attached to yours, as you pull back and it's clear that your shove attempt's kind of receding, he lets go of the hand, or lets his hand go of your arm, and you see him kind of like bring it back, like preparing it, kind of aiming it, and then shoots it straight forward, trying to grab at your throat. He is going to attempt to grapple you, which is opposed athletics, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay. So go ahead and roll.
I did.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. So as he reaches back, kind of cocks his arm, and you see him kind of prepare his eyes, kind of like scanning the area, he has to almost use his other arm to lift himself up off the ground to get to the right height. And then he almost like alley-oop Hail Marys his hand up over his head and towards your throat. And you feel the hand latching around. And then as he does so, and you feel the mechanical pressure begin to dig into your skin, you see him bring the warhammer up and smash the side of his hand. And you see a bunch of different like parts of the pipes breaking off and falling away, bits of steam and hiss kind of shooting off of all the different directions from it. And you feel it close as tight as it can, the fingers continually, mechanically beginning to cinch tighter and tighter. You are now being suffocated. For each round that you are suffocated, at the end of your turn, you will gain a point of exhaustion. You can take an action to make a DC 18 strength saving throw to attempt to break it off of you. Okay?
Okay. And wait, so do I already get a point of his exhaustion?
No, it's at the end of your turn. You gain a point.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Okay.
So, keep that in mind. Jarek, are you going to say something?
I have two questions. One is, are the other dwarves shouting? Is there a lot of yelling?
There's a fair bit of chanting, a little bit of like, yeah, fight, get him, that kind of thing.
Okay. Would it be out of the realm of possibility for me to be like, kick him in the gonads and provide bardic inspiration in the midst of everyone else yelling?
Yeah, I will allow that.
Would I need to roll anything to make it seem like I'm not?
No, I mean, that's,
Okay.
I would say that fits in with the chant, so no one would really give it second mind.
Okay. Then I would probably do that.
Okay. How many times can you do that, by the way? Quick question.
I can do up to 3, so this will be my second time, and I have 1
Okay.
left.
Okay. No, you had a second question?
If I want to activate something, should I do that on Thor's turn, or?
I will let you have an action at the end of either of their turns, is when you would interject. But
Cool.
not in the middle of a turn.
No, perfect. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So, as the hand begins to clench down around you, he is now basically attached to you, unless you break the grip off of it. And so, as you are now grappled and he has the hand, he brings the warhammer around and then tries to strike you with it. So, he's going to attempt to hit you. What is your AC, sir?
15.
15.
Without the thing.
Yes. So, that is... Okay, he is going to hit... And you are raging, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and he's going to do 5 damage to you.
Okay.
So as he's now locked with you, he brings the warhammer around and kind of just like claps your shoulder on your left side or on your right side, kind of like rolling you back a little bit as he now looks up at you, and you see an immense amount of pleasure in his face as he lands the blow and then kind of prepares for his next round. But you now have a bardic inspiration die from Jarek. And it is back to your turn.
That's a little unexpected. I'll use my action to try to break the grapple.
Okay.
With the strength saving throw, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Oh my god.
Ooh. So you now gain a point of... Oh, no, it's not the end of your turn yet. I need to look up. It's at the end. Yeah. So, do you have anything else you're doing this turn? Jarek, you are muted.
I know. I'm not trying to talk.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to be stealthy about it.
You could use the inspiration from Jarek, the bardic inspiration.
Yeah.
You just have to get a 4 or higher with it.
I mean, I don't think I can try to break the ground.
So you have multi-attack, not
It
multiple
says attacks
actions.
per action. So I have 2 attacks per action.
So you only have 1 action, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was your action to attempt to break it.
Yeah.
So you would only have a bonus action, if anything.
Which I don't have bonus actions.
Okay. So you now have disadvantage on ability checks with 1 point of exhaustion.
Well, depends on the ability check.
Well, if it's you just have regular for strength at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Jarek, are you interjecting after Thor's turn at all?
Yes. At this point, I would covertly whisper under my breath and activate the Mask of Mirrors.
Okay. Go ahead, give me a sleight of hand on that one.
And before we... just hold on that thought. Let me see if that's any better.
Nice.
Yeah, okay, so I'll stick with the 12.
Yep.
And try and turn that on.
So as whatever you have to mumble to make this occur, as you begin to mumble, the dwarf kind of like just up and to your right, who's been kind of like into the fight, but he was the one obviously tasked with, keeping an eye on the group. He starts hearing your mumbling, kind of looks over at you and like gives you a quick up and down. Not doing anything, but now actively watching you.
Yeah, I'd probably just complete my mumbling if he's not going to stop me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And activate that.
Okay. Are you doing anything with this?
Well, anyone that looks at me should see their own face, unless they succeed a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
Yes. So my question to you is, what are you hoping to achieve with this? Damn it.
Well, at some point I'm hoping that Gordon's going to look at me and be freaked out, but actively, nothing.
Okay. Well, the dwarf that is looking you up and down doesn't give you any hint that anything is amiss, at least for him, and he kind of just like gives you a weird shrug and then turns back his attention to the fight. Okay. So now it's Gorn's turn. He still has you grappled. Oh no. Okay.
Just kill me. Also, is that exhaustion thing like his effect, like an effect specifically to him, or is that an effect of choking?
No, there are different rules for choking and being suffocated and whatnot. I'm going with this because it's like actually crushing you, like trying to basically cinch your throat off. That's why it's a bit more aggressive than just like, I think it's like a minute timer when you're suffocating, and then you start.
It's your round, like the amount of rounds plus your modifier.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going with how I have it written because
I'm not arguing.
Yeah.
I'm just
No,
wondering because like that seems like broken as shit.
It's a bit aggressive. That it's kind of the point. And it's a one-time thing, and it wasn't really supposed to work with you because I thought you'd break it, but that's fine. We're gonna keep going with it. So, yeah, he has you grappled. He's just gonna fucking hit you again, twice. That's a hit. That's a hit. That is 6 damage and 4 damage. So as he's now basically attached to the front of you, I'm assuming you're attempting to move when you're trying to break, this hand away. So like both of you are kind of being, tossed around, and he's just hammering away at you. He's even kind of lifted off of the ground himself because of his grip on your throat. Yeah, that's a straight check.
Yep.
Right? Okay,
Yep.
So you would break at that time.
All right. I mean, that's my action.
Yeah. So
Does
you
his,
basically...
does his hand, close at that point?
Basically, you are breaking the mechanical parts that are trying to close off or away, and then removing it from you.
I'm just wondering if he can do that again.
No.
Okay.
He literally broke his hand to do this. That was the whole point of the hammer.
Well, no, I was just making sure that you can't just boom, do it again. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, as you wrench the mechanical hand away, and you hear a bunch of the metal kind of pulling back and screeching in defiance, and you tear it from your throat, the first free gasp of air coming, and you kind of throw it away. He comes back down and lands on the ground, and then kind of prepares to, stand off with you even more.
Oh, okay, that's it. God, the magic.
Okay. Anything else for your turn, sir?
I got nothing.
Okay. I should have had him shove you out of the circle.
To Thor.
He can't. I don't think you can shove me when I'm grappled. I think you can.
Oh, he could have just moved you out.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, tough shit.
Yeah. Sucks to be a dwarf.
So you're doing Bardic Inspiration between Thor and Gorn's turn, sir?
Right. At the end of Thor's turn, go ahead and throw that to him.
Gotcha. So, Thor, you have yet another one to use.
Word. 3 ones, baby. Let's do it.
What?
I'm gonna heckle. And when Thor breaks that arm off, Valoran just half holds his polearm aloft in cheering and says, "Shake it off, Thor!" And then in Dwarven says, "That was a shiftless trick."
Okay. Is that? Ooh, is that deception or intimidation? Well, it's not really deception, but the goal is kind of okay. So go ahead and roll me intimidation then. Yep, sounds about right. Yep.
We should have had you fight.
Love the way this is going. Me personally.
1 second. I'm reading a rule. Okay. So Thor, you still have that level of exhaustion.
Yes.
He is going to attempt to shove you prone.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and... What is... I know you probably don't have a particular goal in mind, Valoran, but what is your idea with your heckling?
Just to be a distraction and just to make him unsure of himself even for half a second.
Okay. So just so you're aware of what you're actually doing, he usually has advantage on strength checks and saving throws. I'm going to give him just a regular roll because of your intimidation. So that is the shift. Just has to beat a 17. Come on, man. This is it. This is all your marbles. Yes. Fuck. Okay. So as he lands down on the ground and hears Valoran calling out, you see his attention kind of shift for a moment. He kind of basically just dismisses it as he's still kind of locked into the combat. And he lurches forward into you. And as he hits your knees, you feel an incredible amount of weight and strength behind it, almost kind of throwing you back. But you can kind of just maintain your footing, and then you quickly pull from the dear connection that you have with Jarek to reaffirm your footing and keep yourself upright as he begins to keep trudging forward and trying to shove you. And then he's going to try and shove you again.
Okay.
Because he has two attacks. Okay. Give me athletics. Oh, that's your... Okay. So as you are stood tall through the first onslaught, you see him struggling, his feet kind of like kicking against the stonework. He then looks up, sees that you hadn't moved, and he just like basically curls into himself, veins popping, muscles bulging. You see bits of his armor, like the leather straps that actually like hold it into, position, like stretch and buckle, and a few of them snap. Some of the armor kind of almost like shifting out of place down like, half on his body. And then he slams into you again, and this time the force is so strong that it kind of shakes you, and you feel uneasy. You take a step back, and then you go tumbling to the ground prone, and he shoves you 5 feet back. So you'd be here and prone. Actually, he can't move that turn, but actually, no, wait, he can move after so he'll move forward. But yeah, as you go prone to the ground, he kind of like triumphantly takes a step up and then raises his hands, kind of looking around at the gathered crowd, all of them kind of chanting, raising their bronze gauntlets in the air as you hit the ground with a heavy thud.
Okay.
It'll be your turn, sir.
Well, I will probably get the air knocked out of me.
Quick question. So with your rages, right, they end when no damage is taken for an entirety of your turn or a whole round?
I think it's when you attack. Like, if you attack, let's see. If you are knocked unconscious, or if your turn ends and you haven't attacked a hostile creature since your last turn or taken damage since then.
Okay. So you would still have it?
Yes, because
okay.
I'm actively attacking.
Yeah, just making sure.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't know, does breaking a grapple count as an attack?
Yeah, I would say so. So you're fine.
Okay.
We have multiple per day anyway, right? So if it drops,
yeah.
Well, yeah.
Rage again.
I was just checking.
But it would just
also if you take damage, then I believe it's still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't take damage that last round technically.
Yep.
But also, if the rage ends, I don't have advantage, which means that I have disadvantage on ability checks.
Mm-hmm. But it's still intact as far as I'm aware.
As far as I'm aware.
Okay, we'll roll with that.
Alright, well, I'll use half my movement to get up. So I have 20 feet left of movement.
Mm-hmm.
And I will, yeah, I mean, I'll just shove him, because that's all I can do.
Okay. You are aware, I don't want to, backseat game for you, that you are rolling against advantage with no advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, it could work. I'm not saying not to. I'm just making sure you're aware.
Hold on. Okay, yeah, never mind. I don't think that works the way I think it works. I mean, sure, I'll just hit him then. Why not? Haven't tried that yet.
Haven't tried that trick.
Not gonna work.
That is a miss, sir. That is a hit.
It does 16.
Okay.
Because it adds my rage damage.
Gotcha. So as you, square off with him, standing back up, putting your imposing figure in front of him yet again, you finally draw, or I guess you probably had your sword drawn this whole time, but you reaffirm your grip on your sword and begin to start lashing out at him, now determined to deal damage instead of this back and forth shoving. And the first swing, you're so much taller that it's kind of hard for you to even, get the right angle to aim for something so low. You basically just kind of duck, a bit of his mohawk being kind of cut off by your swing. And then the second one, as he kind of raises back up, you readjust, landing a pretty heavy blow across his chest, a loud clattering of the armor kind of ringing out as you draw the blade across. You see a bit of pain on his face, he kind of flinches back, but then he almost turns that pain into another snarling grimace. He's just looking up at you, just ready to go, still in the fight.
And I will, as my bonus action, I'll just look back at Valoran. I'm sorry. I'll prepare to get shoved.
At the end of Thor's turn, could I yell out in a heckling manner as well? Just, Gorn, without the hair, you're as small as a gnome.
Okay, give me intimidation.
Oh, God.
Roll, you're muted.
And I would add with him, and without the hand, you're as soft as something very soft.
Roll, go ahead, give me intimidation.
I feel like he's about to roll exactly how we expect this to go.
So, against Jerix. Okay. What is that total?
That is 11, +1, so 12.
Okay, so Jarek gets through, but Rolly, your words, bit sloppy. Don't cut nearly as deep. So his first strength is going to be at straight, and then his second one will be at advantage. He's going to attempt... Yes.
Does he look at me?
Odds or evens, Jarek?
You know what? I like to switch it up a little bit. Let's keep it even.
Okay.
Even Stevens.
So, as you hear your compatriots behind you, Thor, calling out, heckling the man in front of you, Jarek's words seem to grab his attention a little bit, and you see him tilt his head around you to look at Jarek. And as you do, you see a bit of his attention kind of drawn. And he kind of like peers, his eyes squinting for a moment, actually pulling him out of the combat for just a split second, as he kind of peers over at Jarek, which to him now appears to be Jarek's body, with Gorn's face rested atop of it. And he just very quickly like shakes his head, looks up at you, and then goes to shove. I'm going to say that you used an action of his, Jarek, by distracting him. So he's only going to get one shove, but it's still going to be an advantage. Okay? 17?
Yup.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay. So as he brings his attention back to you, he looks up, and his last words before he shoves you, he goes, "I didn't know I'd look so good so tall," and then slams himself into you, sending you backwards, and he's going to shove you out of the ring. So, the Golden Hearts, the rest of you that are watching, see Thor kind of look down, and then immediately his chest kind of falls backwards, his legs kind of trailing behind him, as again he is shoved farther back, landing down on the ground, out of the circle, and the whole entire room and the audience outside as well begin to erupt in cheers. Cries, shouts, armor, weapons clattering around, bronze fists in the air, as Gorn holds his hands up high, kind of turning back and forth, addressing his onlookers as you guys are left to watch Thor hit the ground.
I go and pick Thor up off the ground.
Okay.
Rush up to Rolly. Rolly, no. We gotta get the fuck out of here.
We'll get out as together like we came in. Fairly fought. Go on, you have proven a point. I'm not sure what it is, and let's just hope that your pride doesn't come back to destroy all of Bronshard.
As he hears you speaking, which it's a desperate attempt to kind of get your voice louder than the cheers going on around you, he kind of like turns his attention back to the party, and you see he is boastfully prideful of this event. He is showboating as much as he possibly can, holding up his mangled arm and his hammer in the other, as he just kind of begins taking a few steps towards you, like shaking his head with his big grin on his face. He goes, "Well, I guess we'll see if Goliaths can fly."
No, we won't.
Well, that was the terms of the agreement. Are you going to go off of that, Half-Beard?
Your terms were simply a match between champions. It's finished now. You never stipulated that it would end with the death of one of them, and I won't allow it.
I clearly stated that if I won, your friend would be going into the chute.
It's okay, Rolly. Just let them throw me off.
No. Our agreement earlier had nothing to do with that. That was something you threw in at the end.
And your big friend agreed to it.
He didn't know what he was agreeing with. Go and stand aside. We're leaving now.
I don't fancy your chances if you attempt to break our agreement.
There was no agreement, and then I would raise my voice. Or is there no honor here among any of you? Is Gorn the best of you?
Gorn kind of looks around as you address everybody around him. Your words not seeming to change their opinion all that much as they begin to finish their reach for their weapons and begin drawing out actual weapons at this point.
It's okay, Rolly.
We're
I
not
lost.
going to hurt any of you, so if you're going to murder us, do it to all of us.
Well, I mean, really, don't be so rash. Look. Thor lost. I think we can all accompany him out of the building. We need to get Adam to get going back up to the second level where he belongs, as do the rest of us non-dwarves.
You're saying this in common, right?
I don't know Dwarven, unless they
okay.
speak Infernal, so...
No, you're good.
And I think we should get out of this small space, Roly, while we still have the chance.
As long as Thor is with us, then yes.
Roly fucked this up by agreeing to combat. Let us get ourselves out of their building, and then we will figure something else out.
Get out.
I mean, are you guys attempting to leave at this point?
I'm not. I'm getting up and I'll walk over to Gorn.
Gorn just kind of looks over at Rolly. Seems that he might be smarter than you, Half-Beard.
Go wherever he's going.
Well, we wouldn't kill a dwarf. That is far too traumatic.
Yes, you will.
Wait. Roly, calm down. Go on. When I speak, does it seem like Gorn can understand me?
It'd be hard for you to tell unless you, address him.
No, I am.
Okay.
Gorn. The Goliath is like the son I never had. Will you at least let me accompany him to the edge?
You kind of see him tilt his head a little bit, and then he looks over to the dwarf that has the scroll. He, kind of looking up, kind of being brought into the conversation. He goes, he wants to watch. And Gorn goes back, goes, by all means, you can watch.
Thank you.
Rolly, just follow along. And I'll have the cask of sparky juice there under my arm.
Okay.
Try and do something whenever we're closer and out of an enclosed building.
Give him a nod.
Valorant, are you doing anything during this time?
Just kind of watching and waiting.
So,
to decide how much faith I have in what Jarek's got planned.
Well, there's like 50 dwarves outside of this building, if I'm not mistaken.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just gonna throw that out there, guys. The action economy is not in our favor.
So, as you all turn to leave, the kind of wall of dwarves in the entrance, almost like part like the Red Sea. I guess that's slightly ironic because they probably, bronze hands, red, I don't know. And you guys begin to leave the building. Adam and the wagon are basically like, 20 or 30 feet from the entrance of the building, where he's just kind of been left to sit. A few of the Bronze Fist gang members kind of left around to just watch it, make sure nothing funny happens. Thor, as you were kind of at the back end of the group as you turn to leave, Gorn walks up behind you, kind of placing his hand, his good hand on like your lower back. I can at least respect that you stuck to your guns and you're going through with the agreement. I will think slightly better of the next Goliath that I see.
I mean, honestly, if you meet the guy that beat the shit out of me last time, I would just kill him.
Well, then I promise to kill the next Goliath I see. Is that better?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And then he just kind of like taps you a little bit more as he kind of basically escorts with you out of the building. Unless anything changes, that group that kind of led you in and the audience that you've now kind of gained are going to like get back to the wagon, get everybody, like the party, back to the wagon, lead you back to the main road, and then Gorn is going to toss Thor over the edge of the...
How many dwarves are we surrounded by, roughly?
50, 60 is like the rough estimation.
Jeez. And it's stone, basically, we're surrounded by, stone and metal.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not... I want to do something. I also know Seth wants to do something, and I don't know...
If you guys want to communicate outside, do a little silent like conversation as you're walking, I will have some liberty there.
In the time it takes for us to shuffle outside, I think Jarek, seeing that Valorant is a man of action, would kind of squeeze up next to him and bring him down to Jarek's level. Valorant, I'm gonna see if I can blow this cask of shit up and maybe cause a distraction for us to run. But I can't figure this is gonna go well for us any way we put it.
Hold that thought. And once they get outside, where they can really be more visible, Valorant is going to crack the end of his polearm against the ground and point at Gorn.
Yeah, Gorn.
And in Dwarven, he's going to shout, if you kill him in this pointless show of bravado, you doom your race. For he knows where the hammer is that forged you.
My head.
Are you compelling him to a duel? Are you intimidating him? What is the action you were taking here?
Let's call it intimidation for right now.
Okay.
I also want to get outside to get away from the anti-magic, but that may not... We'll see what happens.
Okay, go ahead and give me intimidation then. Fuck.
Have you do it. Damn.
Have you rolled anything besides a natural 20 today?
Not on charisma skills.
Valorant doesn't always roll, but when he does, it's a nat 20.
Is that picking up?
Yep.
I could
There
see
you
that
go.
big old one.
Does he jump over the edge now?
1 second. I'm trying to think this one through.
You know, before you got on the call, we talked about how we were going to throw you a curveball.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So as this kind of mass of dwarves and the golden hearts in the center are kind of formed still in the plaza, let me actually go ahead and drop you guys back into this. As everyone's kind of preparing to lead Thor and the wagon back to the spiral that goes around and then the shaft beyond, Valoran makes his call out, all of the attention being whipped to him, and then everyone following the glaive point over to Gorn and kind of seeing his reaction. Gorn, for the first time since you guys have entered the premises, loses the kind of, jovial, confident grin that he wore. And you see him turn his head a little bit perplexed, kind of staring over at Valoran, unsure of how to really take what he just said, and being on the back foot enough to kind of entertain the idea for the moment, kind of looking up.
I've got more if he's...
Yeah, he looks at you, Valoran. Everyone kind of pausing, almost like a bit of awe silence from the crowd as you hear Gorn's voice calling over to you. What do you mean, the hammer that forged us?
Surely I don't need to explain the legend. To a dwarven specimen as fine as you, and he's dripping with sarcasm as he says this. Show us if there's any truth to this pride that you have in your race and allow him to trade the hammer for his life.
You see him squint a little bit, kind of looking over at Thor, looking over at Val, and then finally turning his attention back to you, Thor. You have stuck to your word and gone through with the agreement, so, Goliath, I will trust your word on this. Does the human speak true?
I mean, yeah, I know where it is.
You see Gorn kind of looking around at the other dwarves, over to Valor and back to Thor. You are certain of this. This is no game. I don't want you bargaining for your life. It is beneath you, a warrior of such renown.
I'm still for you throwing me off. I mean, we have to get the hammer anyways at some point. Doesn't really matter when. But, yeah. No. You know that thing that's up in the church? The giant mural with the little dwarf holding the hammer?
I do not, but I assume I know what you are talking about.
Yeah, no, that's the hammer that, the guy who gave me this. And I'll point to my scars. Yeah, he's the one that has it. I was planning on killing him at some point if it makes you feel a little better.
I will make a new agreement with you, Thor. But I expect you to hold to the honor that you have shown in all of our interactions so far. I will send one of my men along with you to make sure that what you're saying is true. And when you get this hammer, you will bring it directly to me and give it to me in trade for your life.
I mean, I don't know what the purpose of it is, and I don't know what place it has in the future, but I honestly don't know if I'm going to be able to bring it back to you. I may just die there. And honestly, that's not where we're going right now. So if you send one of your men with us, he's going to be up for a wild ride.
The hammer is not the focus of our mission.
Yes, we will do it. Jesus. Guys, come on. Yes, go on. The hammer will be yours. In return for Thor's life. What is wrong with you people? Come on.
He kind of just gives you another look, Thor. He goes, yes or no?
I'm gonna look at Valoran.
He just kind of looks at you and furrows his brow. He kind of shakes his head in confusion.
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't care either way. So... Sure. Are you sure you don't want to throw me off? Because I'll take that one too.
You seem rather suicidal.
I don't get beaten up often. But, to be fair, technically I wasn't at my full strength if you count the anti-magic thing you did, so...
Yes, and if you're wanting to talk fairness, that contraption of yours was every bit as powerful as any magic that we had. You didn't fight fairly. Why don't you fight him again without your toy?
Halfbeard, the amount of respect that I had for you has plummeted so low.
I could give a shit how much you...
Precisely. So please shut your mouth.
Fuck
Thor.
you.
Thor, do not be down on yourself. You fought admirably, and you stuck to your agreement. And I wish for you to learn from this. When you bring me the hammer, I'll let you hit me with it as hard as you can.
And I don't really want to hit you as hard as I can. I don't have anything against you. I mean, you did choke the crap out of me. It hurt a lot. But I'll just give it to you. It's fine.
Well, I just do not want to send you off on your mission in such a sour mood.
It's alright. I got somebody else I want to kill more.
Use that, and go with my blessing, Thor.
Thanks, Gorn. I'll be back at some point. Are you sending somebody with us at this point?
Oh, yes. He kind of turns around, and the dwarf that had been reading the scroll has now stepped out of the building. It appears to be kind of functioning more or less as like his right hand, or his left hand man, I guess, in this situation. Kind of looks over at him, and he goes, No! And you see him kind of like tilt his head down a little bit. He's like, oh, all right. And he like starts like putting things away on his belt, kind of rolling the scroll up. And he kind of like slumps over to you guys. Goran kind of like reaches up and grabs you, Thor. He goes, this is Terry. He's a pleasure to be around. And he will make sure that the deal is seen through.
Alright. Now, do I have to go, like, directly there, like, right now?
I'll give you a month.
Yeah, I don't know. Lord Valoran, is that enough time?
I think it's as good as we're going to get.
Could I get 2 months?
If you smile for me, I'll give you 2 months.
I will smirk. I do love having a Terry to talk to.
He, like, socks you a little bit on the thigh, goes, that's my big boy. 2 months.
Still a little sore there. Hurts a little bit. I appreciate that. Alright. Terry for 2 months. Come along.
So, you are now basically given the blessing to move through the level, reconvene with Adam, and go forth.
Mission accomplished.
I think as soon as they're in a kind of personal space, Jarek would just jump up and slap Thor. Thor, you dumb brute. Why? Why would you go along with it?
What choice did I have, JD?
And what's this about you knowing where the hammer's at?
No, Thor. And I'll grab Thor by the girdle, I guess. I don't think Thor has a lot on, but whatever clothes he can. Thor, I can't lose you.
I mean,
You're the one that brought me into this lifestyle. You're the first one I met after I left Thrice Tower. We've been together for so many things. Why would you throw yourself away like that?
JD, I wasn't throwing myself away. I made a deal. You don't just back out on deals because they don't go your way.
Of course you do, when it means living.
I've had a good life.
Thor, did our friendship mean so little to you that you would leave me?
No. We'd still be friends. I'd just be a dead friend. Can't say we haven't had them in the past. Crank not. Somewhat Cali.
Thor. Just break down in tears.
Oh boy. Okay, that's a lot. So to answer your question, Doroli, I was getting around to it. If it makes you feel better, I told Lord Valorant, because he was, not JD, and he wasn't gonna blabber to everybody under the sun.
You didn't see fit to tell the one dwarf in your party that you know where the hammer that created the dwarven race resides?
Well, you see, I was going to, and then you went on a meeting with the dwarf person, and we just hasn't been brought up ever since.
I like the insight check.
Okay.
That's +8 to whatever this is.
Thor, you're not really lying, right?
No, not really. I was going to tell you at some point. I guess he probably could have told you earlier, but he didn't.
Yeah. So, Rolly, I imagine unless you want to roll against it, Thor, that's more or less what you would discern, is that he really did just recently figure it out and just hasn't brought it up to you yet.
I see, Thor.
And I mean, that was the whole, and I mean, honestly, I don't know if it is the hammer or not. I'm obviously not saying this, in front of Terry, the new dwarf.
Yeah, you saw Terry as you guys are moving along. He is talking to Adam as you guys go, but kind of disconnected from your conversation.
I mean, I'm not 100% sure that is the exact hammer, but I'm just saying it looks like the exact hammer. So I'm pretty confident I know where it is, and that it's Kuztar has it.
Good movie.
I don't know. I don't remember where we got it from. I mean, obviously we killed a dwarf for it at some point. I just don't remember when.
I'm gonna go ahead and shift this music. It's a little bit too aggressive for me. That's fine though.
I hope you aren't too disappointed, Thor. It's all I could think of to save your life.
No. That was actually a good idea. I obviously would never have thought of that. But it would be kind of ironic that somebody who knew where the hammer was died by a dwarf who didn't know where the hammer was. I could have shouted it as I was falling. I know where the hammer is.
And for what it's worth, I'm sure he would have taken me by surprise as well. It was like asking you to, I don't know, wrestle a whale in the ocean. That whole contest was severely tilted in his favor.
It was not honorable.
I mean, those were his terms. We agreed to them. Had the same thing happen before. Get the shit beaten out of me.
He added on the term of your death at the end of that, not what I had bargained for.
I mean, I thought I would have died anyways. And to be fair, the first time I got the shit beat out of me, I thought I was dead. But last time I got a bear, and this time I just got Terry.
Is Terry there with us?
He is talking to Adam at the front of the wagon. I'm assuming you guys are, at this point, moving through the third level, maybe mounted on your horses or just walking behind the wagon. But you guys are moving towards the end of the spiral and down towards the highways.
Oh, so we're allowed into the highways now?
Yeah, I mean, you guys are allowed to go. So level 3 is the last main level of the city. And then below this, it basically is a slowly ever tightening spiral that gets, tighter and tighter around like kind of the tail end of the Bronze Shard. And there's like farms and residential buildings kind of like sprouting off of these lower levels, but they're not recognized as levels of the city. And then eventually, once you get down to the point, like the end of the spiral, you reach like the bastion of the beginning of the highway. So that's kind of the trip you guys are making now. It takes several hours, so.
Because I thought we weren't allowed to go to the highway if I lost.
Well, he was so happy about this new revelation that he gave us his blessing.
Word. Dwarf up.
Broly, this is really pointless timing to bring this up, but what is Gorn going to do with the hammer when he gets it?
I don't know. I would have never offered it to him. Is Terry in earshot yet?
No, I'm imagining you guys are having a separate conversation from him and Adam.
When we come back to Bronze Shard to fulfill the terms of our agreement, we will not come back the way we came, through the tunnel. We'll come through the front fucking door, and we'll present the hammer to the leadership in Bronze Shard, and let them know that it's rightfully Gorn's, and that they should deliver it to him. And then it will be a dwarven matter, out of our hands. Does he strike you as somebody who should be entrusted with something so powerful?
I thought he didn't like magic.
Well, to be honest, I don't know anything about any of the dwarves in Bronze Shard.
Well, he just seemed very anti-magic, given that none of my things worked.
Broly's very pissed right now. Not happy at all with how any of that went.
What is wrong with you people? Can we not go 3 days without one of us dying? Or
Apparently
almost
not.
dying?
I mean, you're around, so no. Technically, I wasn't anywhere close to dying. I technically...
They want to throw you over the edge.
I mean, but like, how far is that? I'd be fine.
No, you would be soup. Splattered against the rock.
How far of a drop is it? Just curious.
The shard is about, like, I think it was like 1,200 feet tall, and you're like only... It would have been like 800 or 900 feet.
I would have been fine.
I think it tops out at like 30d6 or something, right?
Yeah.
180 resisted. I could live.
But then we wouldn't be allowed to get down there to get you out.
Rolly. Do you think they would have allowed for me to have been thrown off?
They all seem very maniacal that way. I'm very ashamed of people right now.
I mean, to throw me off at the top, you have to get to the top. Don't they not like the top?
So
You don't think somebody would have been like, hey, he's about to throw that guy off the edge. We don't do that.
I don't know, Thor.
I was willing to see what would have happened.
To be clear, they were not going to bring you up to the first level. They were just going to toss you over the third level.
Oh, because it goes farther than the third level.
Yes.
Gotcha.
There are like 100 more levels, but they're all like residential levels.
Yes.
Yes.
Never mind. That conversation never happened.
No, I think it's a fitting conversation for Thor.
I think Jarek could be scrounging around for whatever alcohol is in the cart. And start drinking.
Okay. So as previously stated, the trip from the third level down to the entrance of the Dwarven Highways is several hours. So if there's anything you guys want to be doing during this time, conversations, activities, anything of that nature, now would be the time.
Thor didn't lose any hit points, did he?
No, I did.
Did.
I lost 15.
Oh?
And Jarek burned a spell slot.
Yeah.
Also, Seth, you can take the pendant back.
Thank you. Do you want to keep it? Because, I mean, to be honest, I don't get in the line of fire very often, and when I do, I go down too fast for it to be...
I don't know. Do you want me to keep it? I guess I can keep it. Oh, now I have to add it back. God dang.
I'll fix it, because I need to fix the description on that.
Yeah. It, like, automatically adds AC to...
But is there anything else you guys want to be doing before you arrive at the highways?
If it's several hours, can I take a sleep?
It'd be a short rest. Because long rest is 8 hours.
Yeah.
Let me see if that actually benefits me.
Also, it's once per 24, so it's probably too early.
That's right, I used that. Yeah, I guess I'll take a short rest.
Okay. So, Jarek drinks himself into a stupor in the back of the wagon and falls asleep. And the rest of the companions just trudge down the spiral. Okay.
Right
Try to
in
talk.
silence.
I was gonna try to talk to Terry.
Okay, you want to go ahead and do
Terry
that?
has to say, yeah.
Okay. So Terry is, seeing enough dwarves at this point, you would understand is a rather younger dwarf. He has kind of like blonde flowing hair that goes down to about his shoulder that he's kind of like lets loosely hang around his face. He has, to a dwarf, a rather meek beard, but it's still kind of like bushy and full, like as far as in terms of like a human beard. It's kind of like scraggly and wiry and kind of like, covers the majority of his face. He's basically just sitting next to Adam at this point. They're both in silence as, the wagon continues forward.
What's up, Terry?
You see his head like turn over to you, and he like looks you up and down real quick. Let me be clear. I do not want to talk to you. You do not want to talk to me. I am here. I will travel with you until the deed is done, and we will go our separate ways.
I never said I didn't want to talk to you.
Let me be clear. I do not want to talk to you.
Well, I can talk at you. That's really fine by me.
Yes, you'll find that we like to talk in this group. And Terry, you're part of us now.
Let there be no mistake. I am not part of your group.
Well, then feel free to leave.
I would if I could.
Oh, come on now, Terry. Let's not be so hostile, I just want to know a little bit more about you, a little bit more about the people who just kicked the crap out of me. Well, like, what's up with the bronze fist, You guys, is that, your hand, or can you take it off? And I'm just gonna, start asking, a million questions.
He's just gonna turn his attention back to looking forward and just try and block you out to the best of his ability.
I'm gonna do my best to annoy the crap out of him with questions until he breaks.
Okay. So, with that scene playing out as you guys travel further, eventually, you get to the point where the spirals are so close and small in diameter that you can basically see the other side of the spiral as you're traveling, and you begin to kind of feel the ever-present pressure of the amount of earth that is above you. As you kind of look up the bronze shard, as you get near the bottom of it, you see that a mile or two of earth separates you from the sun, and that kind of crushing feeling kind of wraps you all for a moment as you realize just where you have found yourself in Asmiliath. But as you are getting closer and closer to the bottom, a bigger hallway kind of shoots straight off into the distance. And as you look down this hallway, which is about maybe 100 feet tall and 80 feet wide, a lot of elegant dwarven straight-line stone-cut architecture lining each side of it, you see what almost looks like a small fortification at the end of the hallway away from you. Various defensive walls and forts and towers, lots of tents and small structures and barracks kind of filling out the middle of it. And then past that is a massive giant bronze gate that is similar to the one up on the surface, maybe a bit less decorated and slightly smaller. But that's kind of the area you are heading towards. Rolly, would you desire to do any sort of history check, know anything of that nature?
Yeah, I'd like to, if there's anything that I would find illuminating.
So give me a quick character decision. Has Rolly ever gone through the Dwarven Highways before?
Yes.
Okay, so then you would certainly know the Pale Legion is the faction that kind of almost governs the Dwarven Highways. They are basically a protectorate force that's in charge of, maintenance and safety and upkeep and mapping and all that kind of stuff. And so as soon as you leave a Dwarven city and get to the highways, they are judge, jury, and executioner. They function basically everything down here. And they're clearly very no-nonsense, militaristic, kind of brutish, due to the fact that their main job is fighting off the, various Underdark individuals that want to ruin the highways, basically. So you would know about them, know a few kind of more inner workings of them. Usually the system that happens when you traverse the highways is you go up to the Legion's barracks or fort, you explain where you're going and why, they give you a guide, and then send you off. And then you go through the travels, you reach the other destination, and, the rest is history. So that's basically the understanding that you have going into this.
Okay.
So is there any...
I would know that we would need to find the local representative.
Yeah, you would, I imagine, would know there is a commander for each, I guess, bastion of the Pale Legion that's connected to each dwarven city. So the one down here, his name is Commander Tobrin, and he works for the Bronze Legion, which, connect the dots, is the legion that protects Bronze Shard.
Bronze Legion?
Yeah.
Now okay, so I just would know that then.
Yeah, and I can leave it up to you whether or not you think you've had any interactions with him in the past.
I mean, I think I would have only gone just on training runs and...
Yeah, so you've probably never dealt with him personally.
No, I would have been a nobody coming down here before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, any conversations or decisions before you guys kind of get to the fortification?
I would explain that to the group, that and just basically hoping that it's not another maniacal dwarf in charge of another level of my society.
Mm-hmm.
Had no idea.
So,
For the God, Rolly, do not agree to more combat, one-on-one combat.
Do you think we should tell them about the hammer?
No, God, just...
I mean, honestly, we could create a whole war within your civilization, Rolly. It might be fun. I think JD is very for that most of the time.
Not what I have for my civilization. It's not why I'm here. The mother would not have called me back just to sow chaos and discord among my own people. And Jarek, if you had a better idea, you should have presented it.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, if you had
better
idea, you should have presented it.
Then throwing Thor into a death combat.
It wasn't a death combat that I agreed to. It was simply a fight among champions. He threw in the death part at the very end that Thor just agreed to. It's over.
Agreed. Let's handle this next part with better tact, though.
By all means. Whatever you say. I'll let you talk to the dwarves that we come up to next. I'm sure you can handle the Pale Legion. Go ahead.
We'll see. Really?
You better put on a noble voice.
Maybe I will. Maybe I will, Rolly. Thor was gonna get thrown off. I can't take that, Rolly. First, my family. Probably going to be dead by the time we get back. And Thor? What's next? You? Valoran?
Have you not considered the gravity of the situation we're in? We're probably all going to die. Miserably and painfully. Far away from any of those who love us.
Do you think I don't...
You should leave.
I've been there, Roly. I've been there.
And he'll pull up his shirt.
I am intimately aware of what awaits us. But do not think that I gladly march towards it.
I don't see the point in all of this. Let's just get this over with.
Agreed.
And Jarek will just sit back.
You know, Jarek, I don't think that Alum would have any reason to harm your wife or children. He's a man with a job to do. That's all.
Then why is he there? Corell has no bearing for you.
I'm sure that he asked around about where we've been, what we've done, and the name of the village came up. He's trying to find a trail to follow.
Perhaps you're right, Warren. I'm sorry, Rolly. We continue to face very terrible decisions. It is not what I'm used to. I am beyond what I am used to. Thank you, Valor. That does help.
It's all right.
I think that's where we're going to end the session.